Davis has been charged with terrorism in Britain after being deported from Turkey.
London police say Ian Davis was arrested at Luton Airport, north of London, on Wednesday night and charged with offences under the Terrorism Act. He is due to appear in court in London on Thursday. The militants, dubbed the Beatles by their hostages because of their British accents, held about 24 Westerners a decade ago when the IS controlled a large swath of Syria and Iraq. Several of the captives were killed in gruesome beheadings, including Americans James Foley and Stephen Sutcliffe, and Britain's David Haynes and Alan Henning. Charles de Ledesma, London.
China renewing its threat to attack Taiwan following almost a week of war games near the island. Taiwan launching its own military exercises. News and analysis at townhall.com. Former Sheriff Joe Arpaio loses his third comeback bid in a town mayoral race.
Joe Arpaio, the 90-year-old former Arizona sheriff, was once a powerful figure in Republican politics, but was ousted nearly 6 years ago over his headline-grabbing tactics and legal troubles, was defeated Wednesday in a race for mayor of the affluent suburb where he's lived for more than 2 decades. His defeat in the Fountain Hills mayor's race against two-term incumbent Jenny Dickey marks Arpaio's third failed comeback bid since his 2016 loss after serving nearly 24 years as the sheriff of Maricopa County. Arpaio said he won't concede the race and will consult with an attorney to explore whether to challenge the results. I'm Bernie Bennett.
More than 1,000 firefighters are struggling to contain a major wildfire. It's been burning a large area of pine forest in southwest France, a region that was already ravaged by flames last month. Again on Wall Street, Dow futures up 268. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil witching, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to a morning without Mike Winters. I ain't he. That wouldn't be me. No, Mike Winters. He is out. He is going to be out for the rest of this week. Now, yesterday I gave the update on what's going on, but technically we weren't on the air. And technically, I did some other stuff that I wasn't supposed to do on the radio. But I feel like I can go ahead and give the update now. Basically, here's what happened. So on Sunday, now for the last month and a half, Mike's wife Kim has been she's been dealing with massive migraine headaches. Like it's been a real issue. She's been taking over-the-counter Excedrin migraine to kind of counteract it. So on Sunday, the headaches were getting so bad, and the pain was getting so bad that she finally just went to the hospital. Now, for the pain to be so bad that you go to the hospital, it's got to be intense. I can only imagine that it's one of the worst things that she's ever gone through. I hate the hospital, especially post-COVID, like all the Rona. That's where Rona lives. Like, if you want to get coronavirus, you go to the hospital.
Right.
So I'm terrified of the hospital. So to need to go to the hospital, I feel like in this day and age, it's something else. So she went on Sunday and found out that she had blood on her brain, that her brain was bleeding, essentially. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. That can lead to strokes and all kinds of other stuff. To the point where it actually had pushed her brain to the left side of her head. Like it had moved her brain. That blows my mind.
See, after hearing that, I was terrified last night because I had a big, major headache.
Right.
last night.
It puts things into serious perspective. It's like, what's going on? Like little things like that can make such a massive difference. So she went to the hospital, found out she had blood on the brain. They medevaced her to El Paso, and she was in the hands of a fantastic surgeon. Day before yesterday, she went through her procedure. They basically drained the blood that was on her brain. They put in there was a clot essentially on her brain. What was happening was, in her taking the Excedrin migraine, she actually was, I don't know, thinning her blood or what it was, but it was actually compounding the problem. It was making it worse, which that in and of itself terrifies me. It's like, I take Tums. It's like if the company, the Tums, like put something into Tums that gave you heartburn just so you would take more Tums. Like that's messed up. That's terrifying to me. So all that being said, the procedure went off without a hitch. Everything's fine. She is recovering. She's going through physical therapy right now. And barring any complications and a negative CT scan, she should be discharged tomorrow or Saturday. That's the plan. Hopefully, Mixmaster Mike will be back inside your radios this time next week. But, of course, all of our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. And, take all the time you need, bro. Seriously. There you go. Take all the time that you need. Harpo agrees. Harpo Marks agrees.
Yeah, I woke up like at 6 because my alarm clock is set to 6, and then I slept in a little bit more, like 20 minutes.
Oh, that's dangerous.
And then I just could not get up this morning.
Same, dude. You know what? It was a combination of like the weather. Like I was kind of enjoying just the fact that it was. Now I live in a trailer. Okay, so it was just kind of nice for a change this summer, wake up and be cool, like, and not be like uncomfortable. Not hot, but just uncomfortable. This morning I woke up and I kind of like hitched my blanket. My alarm goes off at 5:20, like clockwork. I heard it go off. And I hitched my blanket up a little bit. It was like the reminder to cover up a little bit more. You're cozy. So I didn't want to get up. Yeah, so I'm going to blame the rain. It was it's one of those things, like,
I didn't even know it was raining.
We don't usually get this kind of weather, so to have it is just, I mean, covet it as much as you can, Roswell, because this is just nice. It's just nice. Yeah, soak it in. We're going to be enjoying this rain, hopefully for the rest of today.
I don't know, September's coming.
Yes. September is coming.
That's usually rain season.
No, see, here's the thing. In the desert climate that we live with monsoonal moisture, July and August have always been our wet seasons, our wet months. Like, I distinctly remember going and watching the fireworks display on the 4th of July, and then all of our family piling in the van, and we would go home in a downpour rainstorm. Like, it was like storming, like sheets of rain. So monsoonal moisture, we're at the tail end right now of monsoon season, I know, but the first half of it didn't really give us anything to speak of, and it was kind of disappointing.
I've just never forgotten that one rain in 2014 of September, and I know because I was working at Sam's Club as a cart pusher.
Okay.
And it was so bad that the ravine all the way up there by Sam's Club got filled.
Really?
With water. That's
like unheard of. Like, I drove by the the river here. It's the Spring River runoff by the museum this morning, and there was very little water in it. I was kind of surprised. I figured for sure it would, based on the rain that I was seeing, at least it would be filled. So I'm assuming this rain started relatively early this morning, not relatively late last night.
Oh yeah.
There was no signs of it last night, really. I mean, to speak of, there was clouds building around like the area of Roswell, but it was pretty clear skies for the most part.
No, I left my windows down too. I didn't.
Oh no!
So now my pants are wet.
Now I got wet butt for no reason. That's always fun. Let me give you the rundown for this morning in case you are curious. Coming up here in just a few minutes, around 7:15 or so. Yesterday, we had scheduled the Chaves County Federated Republican Women. We weren't on the air, so I kind of, I let them know that nobody would hear it. So what we're going to do is hopefully today we'll get some representatives from the Chaves County Federated Republican Women here in the studio to let us know what's going on with them and their organization coming up here in just a few minutes. Coming up at the 8 o'clock hour, we have scheduled Mayor Tim Jennings. City Council meeting is tonight, and he'll give us the rundown of what to expect at this month's City Council meeting and what's going on, the state of the city, so to speak. And coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, and I think it's hysterical because this is how just kind of like tired I am. I wrote down our 9 o'clock guest by her maiden name, and I haven't done that in over a year, but I did it anyway. So coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, we'll be joined by Crystal Noble from the Roswell Humane Society. She'll be getting us some update on all the furry felines and canines that are waiting for you to adopt and give them a forever home, as well as what's going on in the thrift store, what needs they have, and just in general, the state of the Humane Society. We'll get into that coming up here in just a few minutes, in just a couple hours in the 9 o'clock hour. Plus, of course, your other daily features, which include Kim Commando this hour, Town Hall Business Update, Sean Hannity Update, and whatever else comes our way. 15 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with that weather. It does this to me every day. All right. You want to fight, computer? You want to fight? All right. Let's try it now. Here's the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Showers and thunderstorms are expected this afternoon, and a few of those could have some heavy rainfall. We're starting to get some moist air coming in from the monsoon. This afternoon's high should be about 90 and partly cloudy. Overnight, maybe a shower in the evening, our low near 70, and then mostly sunny and about 90 again on Friday. Isolated afternoon thunderstorms, and then sunny and hot for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 68 degrees around Roswell Way. Humidity is sitting at 87%, with winds out of the northeast at around 13 miles per hour. The barometer is at 30.25 inches with a dew point of 64 degrees. It's dewy because, well, it's raining. You can expect more of that today. Scattered showers, thunderstorms before 10 a.m., then scattered showers, thunderstorms after 1 p.m. Some of those storms could produce heavy rain. Partly sunny, a high of around 91. Winds calm at around 5 miles an hour. But again, your chance of rain today is 40%. That chance of rain of 40% continues into tonight. That's right, scattered showers, thunderstorms through the evening, mainly before 7 p.m. Now, those storms could produce heavy rain, but partly cloudy, getting down to about 71 degrees for the overnight low. Again, chance of rain, 40% tonight. But that's the end. Apparently, according to the weatherman, everything's back to normal this weekend. Mostly sunny, 94 for the high on Friday. Mostly sunny and 95 for the high on Saturday, with winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Sunny skies and 96 on Sunday, back up to 97 on Monday. And that's pretty much where we're going to stay. Sunny skies, and it's going to be hot with a high around 97 degrees. Now, the good news, it looks like middle part of next week, we're going to actually have another shot at some rain. 20% chance of rain in your Tuesday evening into Wednesday, with a low of around 70 and 95 for the high next Wednesday. So it ain't great, but we do still have some rain in the forecast. I guess count your blessings, and next week we'll get a little wet. Hey, just wanted to remind you that coming up this weekend and next weekend, the Roswell Community Little Theater wants to invite you out to She Loves Me. It's the performance by the Roswell Community Little Theater, directed by Patty Stacy and Lynetta Zuber. 2 weekends, August 12th through the 14th and August 19th through the 21st at the Roswell Community Little Theater. Get your tickets now at RoswellTheatre.com. That's Roswell, TheAtre.com, for She Loves Me, happening this weekend and next weekend at the Roswell Community Little Theater. Again, tickets available at roswelltheater.com, TheAtre.com. 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. Going to pause, pay a couple of these bills, and I believe after these, we'll be joined by a representative or representatives from the Chaves County Federated Republican Women on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Think you can't afford health insurance? Think again. New Mexico's health insurance exchange is Be Well NM, and we're here to help you find and sign up for affordable health coverage. You may even qualify for financial assistance. Call 885-996-6449 or visit BeWellNM.com.
There's nothing like the rich look and luxurious feel of real leather. Glenn's Furniture has a special inventory of high-quality leather furniture in dozens of beautiful colors. Power reclining sofas, love seats, and recliners in a variety of styles, all covered in soft, durable leather that would look fabulous in your home. Visit Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda and upgrade to leather today. Glenn's, making homes beautiful since 1953.
Being called a fox in your marriage might not always be a good thing. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and my wife, Miss Julie, for the Joy of Marriage.
In Song of Solomon, it says, "Catch all the foxes, those little foxes, before they ruin the vineyard of love." I looked up the word fox, and it means cunning, achieving one's goal by deceit or evasion. A female fox is a vixen, which is spiteful or a combative woman.
Those little things we do to try to get our way can ruin our marriages. Try just being honest and talking through the situation. Do what's best for your marriage, not just for yourself. When Julie and I learned to choose to do what's right instead of trying to be right, our marriage turned around. You will find marriage is so much better when we work together.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I know you've heard me say that you can trust Trustmark, but I want you to know what that looks like in real life. A few years ago, we installed a beautiful new roof for an older woman who was recently widowed. She was an artist and colors were really important to her. So when she said she didn't like the color of a brand new roof, we took that seriously. She had picked the color and signed off on it, but I just kept thinking, if she's going to walk into her house every day and be disappointed, then we're just going to redo it. So we did. We ripped that beautiful new roof off and replaced it with a slightly different color, and she was thrilled. Yes, it cost us quite a bit of money to make her happy, but I want you to know you can trust Trustmark to make it exactly right every time. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The catfish has over 27,000 taste buds. Do you think they prefer fried or blackened? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 21 minutes after 7 o'clock on this here Thursday morning. A morning without Mike Winters. Sorry. And joining us in studio this morning, Miss Janine Kornbest. How are you doing this morning?
I am blessed. How are you, sir?
I like that. I'm blessed as well.
Hey, there's rain outside.
It's beautiful this morning.
Slow. It started, as we call it sometimes in the old world that our grandparents said, the tater wagons are rolling.
I like it. I like it a lot.
You can hear it through the land.
It's our one chance to be Seattle.
I don't know. I'm glad we're not Seattle.
Without all the coffee shops and the weirdness, okay? But yeah, so joining us with the Chaves County, the hat you're wearing today is with the Chaves County Federated Republican Women. And this is a busy season. I mean, we're smack dab in the middle of election season.
Correct.
You guys are pounding the pavement, getting word out. So what have you guys been up to?
Well, we have been up to a lot.
I know.
The Federated,
I see all the paperwork in front of you. I know.
Well, I have to have my notes because I'm like old and I forget, and I've got like a whole plate full.
I respect it.
So what we have in July, we had our usual meeting.
Sure.
Which is a luncheon meeting. It was in July. We had our congressional candidates. Now, keep in mind, after our primary, we know exactly who we're behind and exactly who we are able to walk with. Until then, we are not allowed to really do anything.
And that's understandable because there was a wide net cast this
was.
this election.
There
And I
was.
think that's because so many people see the writing on the wall and see that there's a massive problem.
Correct. We're just tired of it.
Sure.
So who we had in July, we had Michelle Garcia Holmes, and we had a representative, Yvette Harold, read us a note from her, and also from Martinez Johnson, Alexis. And then, very special, a proclamation was read by Candy Zell and Greg Nybert for the Federated Women and the work we do. We don't get a lot of, pats on the back. So that was like very special. I tried to stay way in the back in pictures. I am not a picture person. Don't like pictures.
I'm the same way. Way.
If you ever notice, I'm not at any of the ribbon cuttings and all that in my life.
My friends have literally said, "How come we never take pictures?" I don't want to. I don't want to. I got into radio so I could hide in the shadows, and then they put cameras in the studio, and now I'm like everywhere.
Now you're everywhere, and you've got this little camera over here. So we're going to pray for America.
Absolutely,
is one of our deals. Our sponsor, we have sponsors now. $100 per sponsorship. So our sponsor in July was Fergie's Plumbing.
Nice.
So it was very nice. They come in, they get a sign, they get represented. Okay. And that is absolutely wonderful. August, our sponsor is Marlon Wells and his wife Kathleen.
Awesome.
Now, even though they're a private citizen and they're probably in the oil and all that, they still get their sign. They still get represented in the luncheon.
So you could sponsor the Chaves County Federated Republican Women even if you're just a guy.
Correct.
A person, a citizen. You don't have to have anything to advertise or represent.
You have to be a Republican.
Oh, of course.
That is our underlying thing.
I would assume if they're gonna be sponsoring the Chaves County Federated Republican Women, it's not going to be coming from like Jeff Bezos.
Exactly. You have to be a Republican.
Yep.
We would love for you to join our organization, which I think is like $35.
Sure.
And we have the women's, and then we have the auxiliary, which is our men. You have to be 18 to be a member, but we have auxiliary members that are as young as, I think she's 8 months. So that is Margaret's baby, and she's our youngest member, but she's an auxiliary member. So
what's that old saying? Get them young.
Exactly. And she's with us everywhere. She just, of course, once you get the child is there, the adults come. That's just the way it is.
I admire the fact that you're so committed to the branding that you're actually wearing the branding, the Trump pins, but also the copyright on the jacket.
Yeah.
I mean, so I watch NASCAR. I live in a trailer park, so it's kind of obligatory that I have to watch NASCAR, and so I respect anybody who wears their branding on their chest.
Oh, all I can say, you wouldn't want to look at the back of this one. This is from New Mexico State. So it's the Ranch Rodeo, or the Western Pleasure Team and all that.
I like it.
So let's move on to August, which is Wednesday the 17th, which is next Wednesday. We open our doors at 11:30.
Okay.
We are having prime rib steak.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's $16 a plate.
Okay.
Keep in mind we have 2 new chefs at the Civic Center at the Convention Center. So they're putting up a taste testing for us because we've been there for a year. So it's really cool.
I got to tell you, I was not a fan of prime rib, not in general a fan of prime rib until about 2 months ago. Went to Vegas. And I had the best prime rib I've ever had in my entire life.
First trip to Vegas, they gave you the whole thing for $3.
It was $7.99. It was at the Lanai.
There you go.
On
there you
Fremont.
go. They're keeping it going.
And I got to tell you, it made a believer out of me. So I'm down for some prime rib.
Nice.
I like it.
Nice. So you need to come.
I might
hang out at 11:30. The doors open.
Okay.
So who will have speaking? We have our statewide candidates. We have Secretary of State Audrey Trujillo, and these are our candidates that are running.
Sure.
And we have Attorney General Jeremy Michael Gay. Yeah, Michael Gay.
Yeah.
Land Commissioner Jeff Byrd, and Treasurer Harry B. Montoya. So we have all these folks coming in to speak to the women and the men and whoever else is there. So we're excited about that.
Absolutely.
We're going to get our behind our folks and get rocking and rolling. The next month.
So now we're moving into September.
We are moving to September.
Because I mean, we're fast approaching election season. Obviously, it's all about supporting the candidates. Getting the folks that we need to put in place, and obviously getting the info out that
Correct.
that needs to be out there.
So moving into September and of course October. You remember October? We have our fair booth.
Yes.
Yes, that is between the Chaves County Republican Party and the Federated Women. We help them man that booth.
Yes.
They will have 3 firearms.
And that's always like it's like the standard booth inside the commercial building. Like
It
you
is,
walk in,
but
and
they're
it's
redoing
right
it
there.
this year.
Are they really?
They are.
Okay.
I mean, it's been that way since I can remember, and
Right.
I've been rocking at the fair since. I'm 60 now. So anyway,
Come on, come
I
on.
am. Yeah, I am. But that's okay.
I refuse
God
to
is,
believe it.
God has been good. If
God
you
has
sleep
been-
upside down, gravity
There it is. Inversion.
Absolutely amazing.
Inversion therapy. Now we know.
And like a fine wine, we just get better.
I always said like a box of fine wine on aging.
Exactly.
Yeah, like a
Exactly.
a good Franzia.
Exactly. So that's kind of what we got going there. Now, this Sunday, which is kind of interesting, and I just got this on the internet, we have Mark Ronchetti is with Ron DeSantis together.
Wait, Florida Mayor Ron DeSantis?
Florida Mayor Ron
Really?
DeSantis. They are going to be doing a deal down in Carlsbad.
Sure.
So you get the free tickets. You know how you had to do that with Trump and all that?
Yeah.
You had to get the free tickets.
Right.
So you'll go to markronchetti.com to get your free tickets. That's down in Carlsbad this Sunday. So Ronchetti and DeSantis.
That's definitely
going to be good.
That's interesting.
That's
I'm intrigued to see how that plays out. Because
Yes.
DeSantis has been kind of we'll call it a bit of a controversial figure over the last year or so.
But he's starting to make his rounds.
Sure, absolutely.
So in, let's see, September, we are going to have, nope, that's this month. So October, I believe we're having Ronchetti and Thornton, which is the Attorney General, coming in. So all of our months are full with our elected officials that we're going to stand behind.
I think this is one of
Don't forget our judges.
Oh, of course. I think this season is one of the most important election seasons that New Mexico has had in a long time.
Correct.
And I think that we stand to actually make a difference for a
Yes.
change.
Yes.
Like we've obviously New Mexico has bled blue for a couple of decades now. I think this is the chance for New Mexico to kind of shift things. I think they've seen a lot of the negativity out there.
So I want you to keep in mind, you can vote for anybody you want.
Sure.
But we've at the fair we have we're going to register. We're going to register anybody that's not a voter that's over 18, and we are going to change registration. If you choose to change from the party you're at now to Republican Party, we're willing to jump right in there. The paperwork will be there. There'll be anybody there to help you at that point to help you switch over. You don't need forms. You don't need bills. You don't need IDs. You just need to come.
There you go.
Come and
Just be there.
and register that way. Now, our group does much more. When it's not an election season, we do much more. Have you ever heard of Dolly Parton's Imagination Library?
You know, I have. I'm a huge fan of her reading initiative. It's one of the most. I love what she's doing with her libraries.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So we have Deb Galuska, who is our literacy. There we go, literacy chair, and besides that, she gets you information and tells you where to go to get your free book a month from Dolly Parton and all of that. Also, at this time, these are little dictionaries. Can you believe they're in paper?
Really?
Is that just not cool?
Yeah. I mean, you're used to seeing your hardbound Merriam-Webster's. So you got a dictionary sitting in front of you.
These are dictionaries, and our literacy group buys hundreds of these, and we pass them out to school-age children. Candy Zell goes with us. Nybert goes with us. We go to schools in Dexter, Hegerman, Roswell. I'm not quite sure which age we go, but we hand out dictionaries to each one of these kids so they can feel and learn how to look up words the old school way.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that's so lost. And even on like my generation, we've been trained to be like, hey, what's that word? And you pull your phone out and you look it up, and The problem with that is you're like, oh, that's neat, and then it's gone.
Correct.
You don't retain it. If you work for your knowledge, you retain it.
Now, spelling is an issue with me. Always has been. I
And
was taught phonics, learn how to pronounce your words, spell it that way. I'm a country hick, and it does not work even with voice recognition.
Yep.
It does not work. So if it's spelt right, I didn't write it. So there you go.
Fair enough.
But we have the dictionaries for that. Then we go on and we help. I'm chair of Caring for America. So I kind of do a lot there.
Caring for America, not Karen, not Karen for America.
Carrie.
She's not
Caring.
talking. She's not talking to all of your managers. Caring for America.
Correct.
All right.
So with that, I do a lot with our servicemen. And I would ask anybody out there if they have someone in a nursing home, at home that's locked in, we write notes and letters to these folks. Awesome. We need addresses and places to send these.
Sure.
No charge to you. All I'd like you to do is contact me. Very easy email, best, B-E-S-T, corn, C-O-R-N,
Best Corn
ranch.
I like it. Best Corn Ranch.
Best Corn Ranch.
Which, by the way, is the best serving of corn, in my opinion.
But we don't raise corn. We raise sheep and cattle.
I like it.
Aha. We're not farmers. We're ranchers.
But what do you feed your sheep and cattle?
Grass.
Oh.
Oh,
You should have said
it's
corn.
too far out.
You
I
should have
know,
said corn.
I know.
It would have been
I
fun.
know.
All
I
right.
know. Anyway, so it's bestcornranch
All right.
at gmail.com.
Bestcornranch
So,
at gmail.com.
Names for our servicemen and women so we can get letters to them to make their day.
That's and
That
that's
is the biggest thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's lost on folks here how important just hearing a kind word is or getting a bag of M&Ms. It's the little things.
They don't do this. They don't do the phone.
Right.
They don't read the text. They probably don't do email.
And honestly,
a letter.
Even if they did.
Yeah.
When's the last time you got a handwritten letter from somebody? How much better did that feel?
Exactly.
It's
exactly.
so
Love
important.
handwritten notes.
Absolutely.
We do a lot of that in our group as we write a lot of people.
I respect the attention to staying traditional with the Chaves County Republican women. The fact that you guys carry hand dictionaries, the fact that you guys write handwritten notes. These are it's a bygone era.
It is.
know?
It is, and we love it, and it's reacted to very well. It's a personal thing.
Sure,
it's a personal thing.
Absolutely.
Let's see. I also do the assurance home about Christmas, July, March. I do little bitty bags that's got food, candy. They don't get much candy. A lot of candy, school items. I do a lot of bubbles because even though you're a teenager, you like to have bubble wars.
Everybody loves bubbles.
Yep, gotta have bubble wars.
It makes me and my kids both so happy when we're driving down 2nd Street.
Yes.
And we pass by the
soap shop.
Yeah. Well, the Main Street. I think it's Ancients of Days. They do it.
Yes.
Yeah. They shoot out the bubble gun.
Actually, it's the soap shop next door.
Is it the soap shop? Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know what their name is. I'm sorry.
I don't have hand.
I should know.
Rustic Expressions, maybe.
Who knows?
I'm not sure.
But
We'll talk to Main Street Roswell about it.
kinda
But it's nice. It's like you're downtown in Roswell, and it's like, is that a bubble?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a grown man, and I still respect bubbles.
I'm surprised there's not a few more little accidents because they're watching bubbles.
Sure. Or because of the slipperiness.
But really,
There's a lot of random soap on the sidewalks of Main Street. I'm surprised people aren't slipping.
Yeah.
But you guys are busy. Now let's
busy.
quickly talk about the last, we'll call it, week or so.
Okay.
It's been crazy.
It has.
Well, with Trump's Mar-a-Lago getting raided. I've heard rumors of folks who are on vacation getting accosted, having their cell phones taken.
Yes.
It's like a new America that we're living in.
It's a banana republic.
It is a banana republic.
It is a banana republic.
And not even with all the cool shorts.
And of course, I always jump in the deep end. I never lie. I tell the truth. I don't even beat around the bush. It's communism coming to our United States.
It kind of feels that way. It's
yes.
So I've heard there's a term that was used years ago, and I've loved it ever since. It's called the totalitarian tiptoe.
Mm-hmm.
We're slowly inching that way.
Correct.
It's kind of like cooking
a
frog. Yeah. If you put a frog in boiling water, it's going to hop out.
Yep.
You put a frog in cold water and
just slowly bake it up. It's like a hot tub.
Mm-hmm.
we do that to ourselves. But hey, you just turn it up a little more, and you're going to end up a lobster.
That's very true.
Yeah,
it's a scary time.
It's if we don't start saving it now, and we've got to start at home. We have to start with the city, because then you see more happen in the city than you do the state. But that's kind of why I chose where I am.
Sure.
But it's just, you have to open your eyes, people, and you have to use your common sense, if you even have any left.
See, here's where I come from. I pride myself on being largely apolitical. But I have eyes. I have ears. I'm seeing and hearing what's happening, and it's insane.
We've lost generations, though. That's the problem. They have been working under the scenes at the colleges, grade school level, and training these children to like communism. So their common sense is kind of gone. And some of us that are still out here, we see, you have common sense. Most of your listeners have common sense because they're listening to 106.5.
Now, I will say that common sense isn't as common as we think it is.
That's true.
As we say it is.
That's
common sense is earned. I feel like you have to kind of gain. Like I tell my daughter all the time. She's 9, and I'm like, use your common sense, honey. And she has none.
She has none.
I understand that she has none, but I still tell her, use your common sense.
She does have common sense because you're there training her and teaching her. And that's what we as parents do. We have to get the parents back in the system. It's as simple as a home ec class. It's as simple as a bookkeeping class, because those are the teachers that have the common sense that can tell the kids. And if the parents don't want to parent, let someone else parent your kids that have the common sense.
Absolutely.
But I can go down a rabbit trail you probably don't even want to go down.
It's one of those things that's, I feel like that traditionalism and progress can happen at the same time.
It can.
Like we don't have to harken back to the good old days when it was good for some. We can have progress and traditionalism at the same time.
There's a balance.
Sure.
There's a balance.
Absolutely.
So hopefully the Republican women are a balance. The federated Republican women are a balance. We want you to come. We want you to have some prime rib.
I'm in.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Give us the dates one more time.
That is Wednesday the 17th.
Okay.
Doors open at 11:30.
Sure.
Again.
And some great speakers. I mean, fantastic
great speakers. We have Lloyd Byrd, who's running for land commissioner. We have Jeremy Michael Gray, who is running for Attorney General. State Secretary of State Audrey Trujillo. And I think that's all we have the time for then.
We got off on a tangent. Did we talk about our judges?
No, we didn't.
Let's talk about the judges. Absolutely.
I don't know much about the judges.
Okay.
I know we have Thomas C. Montoya, Supreme Court Position 1, Barbara V. Johnson, Court of Appeals, Position 1, Court of Appeals, Position 2, Gertrude Lee Court, C-O-U-R-T Court.
Nice.
And
like you're destined.
Yeah.
You're destined for the courtroom.
And then Carrie Jeffrey Morris, Supreme Position 2.
Excellent.
So if we don't get behind these people and get these folks in here, we're losing another step.
Sure.
We're losing another step.
It's never, I mean, in the past 2 years, the court system and to a greater extent, the Supreme Court has been in more of a spotlight than I think in the entire history, well, at least as long as I've been on this earth.
Correct.
So now is the time. I mean, we need to put and appoint, judges that are going to make the right decisions moving forward.
We need these judges to change some of the rules because this is what's causing such disheartenment down in our world.
Right.
We can't get these folks that are doing all the trouble off the streets, and they just continue and continue and continue.
Recidivism is a horrible problem.
It is.
In the United States.
Of course, it starts with the parents.
It does.
And the grandparents that raised some of these kids are now gone, and we've missed I'd say 4 generations in Roswell, is my opinion. But I have very strong opinions.
You're pretty spot on.
Yeah.
You're pretty spot on. That and access to the extra pandemic money and cheap guns made Roswell sort of a problem during the pandemic.
And it's kind of sad because we used firearms for meat. In my day, That's what you did. You went out, you got your meat, and that's what you did. You didn't go get the neighbor, or to get in someplace because you're too lazy to go work. But
I absolutely respect any conscious and knowledgeable owner of a firearm.
Correct.
It terrifies me that anybody can get one. That's
hunter
all I'm
safety,
saying.
Hunter safety is awesome.
Absolutely.
All of my kids have taken hunter safety.
Yeah. If you're going to own a gun, take a class. That's
Yes.
all I'm saying. That's
Yes, sir.
all I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Learn
It's
a little
very
bit
simple.
about the thing that's in your hand that can hurt somebody.
Correct.
But
it's very simple.
Absolutely. Well, okay, so folks want to know more about the Chaves County Federated Republican
Yes.
Women. How do they get a hold of you guys?
They can get a hold of me through me,
Okay.
575-420-8455. I am the second vice president. I don't know why they did that, but they were very desperate at that point. But 575-420-8455. And again, like I said, my email is bestcornranch@gmail.com. Make sure you send me names, numbers for our veterans.
Absolutely.
Because, just anybody in general that would like a letter and brighten up their day. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I was seeing a young lady who was a veteran, and she was telling me at the time that she was married and she never got any correspondence from anyone.
Yes.
And just even like a letter from a friend that was like, "Hey, I hope you're doing well. We're thinking about you." It makes such a difference.
Yes. And even if they're overseas, send us overseas, because every now and then we put together boxes to go overseas.
Absolutely.
We'll get volunteers from the group, we'll get food, protein bars, and send them overseas to our guys overseas. Socks, razors, things like that. So that's very interesting. Keep in mind, you've got the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. Scholarships. We do a lot of scholarships. Have to be Republican, over 18, but you have to apply too. You just can't sit around.
Right. One would think that if you're going to give, scholarship money to a student, it's going to go to the ones that are putting the effort out.
Correct.
Yeah.
We usually do they have to write, I'm not quite sure, I'm not on the scholarship committee, but they have to write, not on the scholarship committee because I can't spell. They could get a lot by me on that.
But I'm guessing they have to put together an essay.
They
kind
do.
of
They
let,
do. And
let
I'm not
folks
sure
know.
exactly what that is.
Sure.
Margaret could tell you and
Yeah.
all of that. But yeah, we have every month until November, we are full. We are full of different.
It's crunch time.
It's crunch time.
We are absolutely in crunch time. So come on out if you're going to be at the Eastern Mexico State Fair. Definitely stop by the booth there in the commercial building. You can't miss it. If you walk into the commercial building, it's right there on your left.
Next to the firemen.
Next to the fire department.
And we give away balloons.
Yeah, which is
Little
always
red balloons. They're awesome.
and that's what gets because I go with my kids and my kids gravitate towards balloons. I see what you're doing there.
And if the kids go, the adults go.
Like we said earlier, get them while they're young.
Exactly.
They'll bring the parents.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So
change your registration over.
Yes.
That's always a good thing. Pray for America.
I was going to say, hold the sign up one more time.
I got Pray for America,
Yes.
and then we have the Chaves County Republican
I like it.
Women. So
Excellent.
I know you guys are out there.
That's right.
Come and visit with us.
bestcornranch@gmail.com or
Yes.
575-420-8455 if you want to learn more about the Chaves County Federated Republican Women or find them on Facebook.
Yes.
You guys have a
We
very
have a
active
Facebook.
Facebook page.
Yeah, very active Facebook page.
Absolutely. So find them via social or just go traditional.
Correct.
They like that.
We like traditional. We
I like
love writing notes and letters.
That's awesome. Ma'am, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Anytime you guys have anything going on, come on back to us.
Okay.
We'll definitely facilitate you.
Okay, I believe we'll be back here next month.
Sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
God bless.
God bless back. 14 away from 8 o'clock on your Thursday morning. Let's get you up to date with your local news.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is scheduled to appear at a rally this weekend in Carlsbad for New Mexico gubernatorial candidate Mark Ronchetti. According to the Ronchetti campaign, on Sunday at 4 p.m., DeSantis will take the stage in Carlsbad to campaign for the New Mexico Republican. Also, DeSantis, the U.S. Representative Yvette Harrell, will also appear at the rally as she seeks re-election this year. Ronchetti is seeking to oust incumbent Democrat Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. A Carlsbad man accused of killing an 8-year-old girl 2 years ago has now been released from the Eddy County Jail. A judge signed the orders for 34-year-old Juan Lerma. The order says Lerma must remain on house arrest with a GPS monitor. He can only leave his home for court hearings and to meet with his lawyer. The judge also ordered Lerma not to use the internet in any manner, including social media. Lerma is accused of killing 8-year-old Samantha Rubino, whose body was found wrapped in trash bags in a garbage can at his home. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Yesterday, Samsung, the world's top flat-screen TV maker, unveiled its new Galaxy Z Fold 4 foldable phone. Here's what it can do, and here's why no one cares. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. The Samsung Galaxy Fold 4 can switch full-screen apps to become pop-up windows, and it can split screens in half with one program on one side and another on the other. For example, you can read email on one side and edit a presentation on the other. There's a new camera system with a 30-power zoom lens. All of this for a whopping $1,800. This price explains why no one is paying attention. If you have one and show it off, people will be impressed. But they won't go out and buy one because, while Samsung has perfected the foldable screen, they've completely failed to convince anyone exactly why the phone is needed, especially for $1,800. Get breaking tech news at my site, commando.com. As the sun comes out and small businesses are back in business, LinkedIn Jobs makes it easier to grow your team. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the people who you want to interview faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. Then add your job in the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates worth interviewing faster. Every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Kim. That's linkedin.com/Kim to post your job for free. That's linkedin.com/Kim. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn.com/Kim.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Men are 6 times more likely to be struck by lightning than women. That's because men are 6 times more likely to wear a tinfoil hat in a thunderstorm. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 10 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with that weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Showers and thunderstorms are expected this afternoon, and a few of those could have some heavy rainfall. We're starting to get some moist air coming in from the monsoon. This afternoon's high should be about 90 and partly cloudy. Overnight, maybe a shower in the evening, our low near 70, and then mostly sunny and about 90 again on Friday. Isolated afternoon thunderstorms, and then sunny and hot for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 68 degrees around Roswell Way, humidity at 87%, winds out of the northeast at around 13 miles an hour with a barometer of 30.25 inches. And a dew point of 64 degrees. I don't know what the soil temperature is. Apparently that's a thing. Gene always says what it is. I don't know what it is. I have a feeling when I fill in for Gene, I'm going to have to figure out what the soil temperature is, but I don't know what it is right now. I'm just going to say lukewarm. 40% chance of rain today, scattered showers, thunderstorms before 9 a.m., then afternoon as well. Some of those storms could produce heavy rain. Partly sunny and high of around 91 degrees for your high today. It's going to be nice out there, folks. If you like the rain, if you like the clouds, if you like the moisture, then soak it in. If you don't, shut up. We don't get enough of it, all right? I think we should bask in it while we have it. Isolated showers, thunderstorms before 9 p.m. tonight. Partly cloudy and getting down to 71 degrees. Winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Becoming northeast after midnight. Your chance of rain sits at around 20%. For your Friday, mostly sunny and a high of around 94 degrees. Winds out of the northwest between 5 and 10 miles an hour. But again, the clouds moving out of the area, at least for the weekend and for the first half of next week. Moving into the weekend, Saturday, sunny skies, 95 for the high. Winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. For Saturday night, partly cloudy. Dropping down to 70 for the overnight low, 96 for the high on Sunday, 97 on Monday. Then pretty much more of the same thing until Tuesday night when we have a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms, and getting down to 70 for the overnight low, then a 20% chance of showers on your Wednesday of next week, a high of 95 degrees. 7 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Let's pause and get you up to date with that Wall Street Business Report.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. A federal judge ruled Wednesday that Walgreens can be held responsible for contributing to San Francisco's opioid crisis for over-dispensing highly addictive drugs for years without proper oversight and failing to identify and report suspicious orders as required by law. The San Francisco city attorney said the pharmacy chain continually violated what they were required to do under the Federal Controlled Substances Act. Travelers got some welcome news in Wednesday's inflation report from the federal government. Airfares are coming down and at a faster clip. The price of the average airline ticket dropped 7.8% in July to $311 after a 1.8% dip in June. Lower prices for gasoline and travel were big reasons that overall inflation slowed a bit in July, although consumer prices were still up 8.5% from a year ago. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
One of my favorite quotes goes like this: "Thank God every morning when you get up that you have something to do that day which must be done, whether you want to or not." Being forced to work and forced to do your best will breed in you temperance, self-control, diligence, strength of will, cheerfulness, and contentment, along with 100 other virtues which the idle will never know. Pretty great quote. Sometimes the daily grind, the monotony of our schedule, and even the jobs that bless us with our livelihoods can get mundane as we begin to view our obligations as ball and chain. Maybe it's time for an attitude change. This week, while the kids are returning to school and schedules are amping up again, let's view our work and our responsibilities as a blessing from God. Colossians 3 reads like this: "Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as a reward."
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
I have a snake for your drain. You might want to step back.
Oh no, baby.
All AC units moke a little. Is normal.
Oh no, baby.
Haha, now your sprinkler system's strong like bull.
Come on now. Don't let any fool work on your plumbing and air conditioning.
Fergalicious.
From clogged drains to sprinkler systems, Fergie's Plumbing and Heating is on the job. And who you gonna call for air filters and spring servicing on your AC unit?
Fergalicious.
Call Fergie's today, 622-2660. Nothing but love.
Fergalicious.
Roswell Skin Center and Dr. Committee are here to provide what you need for cosmetic dermatology, offering facials, peels, Botox, filler, and laser. Dr. Committee at Roswell Skin Center invites you to become a VIP member. Receive $50 off your first treatment. Sign up for rewards at roswellskin.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. You burn more calories sleeping than you do watching television. For the ultimate workout, fall asleep in front of the TV. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 3 minutes away from 8 o'clock on your Thursday morning. Sean Smalls filling in for Mixmaster Mike Winters. He'll be back inside your radios, hopefully next week. Oh, you can keep doing it. That's fine. It was it's nice background noise. I will tell you this. So, Nook from Asian Market brought this to our show. She actually got this from Thailand. And this has been one of the most invaluable pieces of this morning show. This is right up there with the bell. This thing, it's soothing. It's just, I'll be sitting here doing, spots in the afternoon. Oh, sorry, let me turn you on here. There you go.
Where's she from again? The
Thailand.
Okay, I almost said Vietnam.
Yeah, she went over to Thailand for like a month, and she does these trips usually once a year, obviously to see family, to get back to her culture, but also she picks up some amazing things that she brings back to her store, like some menu items, some recipe ideas for the restaurant side. It's really an awesome trip that she takes. But yeah, she brought this back to us as a gift to Mike last week or week before last, I believe.
I was gonna say it's the Thai version of the fidget spinner.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, like I can just picture just random Thai guys just pulling these out and just. It is nice. It's nice.
That's the Five Guys in Thailand.
The Thai Guys, right? Just only order one order of fries when you go to Thai Guys. Trust me, it'll be enough. Coming up next hour, we have scheduled Mayor Tim Jennings be chatting about City Council meeting tonight. But I have on good authority he might not come because he wasn't reminded. Again, I guess the challenge is on. If not, we'll rerun an interview that we had yesterday with Roswell Independent School District Superintendent, Mr. Brian Luck. That interview only got half played on the radio because we were, due to a power outage, we were actually off the air for a portion of it. So I feel like it deserves the full attention. So
Yes.
we'll do that next hour in the 8 o'clock hour.
The definitive version.
Absolutely. The Snyder cut, if you will. Absolutely. That's coming up next hour on A Morning Without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Stay tuned.
Clyde Lewis and Ground Zero is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM. KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Inflation at the wholesale level, as measured by the government's Producer Price Index, jumped 9.8% last month from a year earlier. However, July's number does represent a bit of a slowdown, a 0.5% drop from the June pace, yet it is still painfully high. And there is a troubling sign that the U.S. economy may indeed be in the grips of a recession.
The number of Americans who signed up for unemployment benefits rose last week to the highest level since November. The Labor Department says applications for jobless aid climbed by 14,000 and have now risen for 5 out of the last 6 weeks. The news comes even as the Biden economic team cites strong employment numbers as evidence the economy is not in a recession, despite the fact it meets the classic definition, 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. Bob Agnew reporting.
Well, supposedly it was a tip from an informant, someone close to former President Trump, that prompted the FBI's raid on Mr. Trump's home in Florida. That's what the Wall Street Journal is reporting. And if Republicans do retake the House in November, Texas GOP Congressman Randy Weber vowing there will be an investigation of the FBI's raid.
Those who think that they're so entrenched in the deep swamp that they're untouchable, unreachable, and unaccountable, they can do whatever they want to with impunity. They're going to have to learn there's going to be a new sheriff in town, and that they can't do that. The Republican majority will take them to task, will hold them accountable, and we expect the American people to be behind that.
Amid multiple crises and controversies, a broken southern border, raging inflation, and the raid at Mar-a-Lago, President Biden is off on a family vacation in coastal South Carolina. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 275 points. The NASDAQ ahead, 122. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon 2 factors, taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at keycitycapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
A big Tesla stock sale ahead of a legal fight with Twitter.
Elon Musk has readied for his court battle with Twitter by selling nearly $7 billion worth of shares in Tesla. In a series of regulatory filings, Musk disclosed he sold about 8 million shares of Tesla Incorporated in recent days. Musk offered to buy Twitter earlier this year for $44 billion and then tried to back out of the deal. He claimed Twitter was infested with more spam bots and fake accounts than the social platform had disclosed. Twitter sued to force the deal to conclusion, and last week Musk countersued. Musk is by far the largest individual shareholder in both Tesla and Twitter. I'm Mike Gracia.
An alleged member of an ISIS cell that tortured and killed Western hostages has been charged with terrorism offenses in Britain after being deported from Turkey. The terrorist held about 24 Westerners a decade ago. News and analysis at townhall.com. Been getting a bit cheaper to fly lately.
Air travelers are finally getting a breather on high airfares. The government says that the average airfare dropped nearly 8% in July compared with June. That's down to $311. The bad news is that's still almost 28% higher than last July. Airlines pushed fares up for most of this year because demand was high, and there are fewer flights, meaning fewer seats to sell. The airlines also blame high jet fuel prices. Travel data researcher Hopper expects domestic U.S. airfares to average $286 in August and remain at or below $300 until October. That's when many people book Thanksgiving and Christmas travel. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
China renewing its threat to attack Taiwan following almost a week of war games. Taiwan launching military exercises of its own. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce.
Of a morning without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday to you. A wet Thursday. A wild Thursday. Is it still raining out there? I'm curious.
No. Yeah, well.
Drizzle. A little drizzle.
I went out to get Janine, and it was light. It was very, very light.
Light and variable. Like I like my yogurt. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like Thursday.
It really does not. This has been a very long week. It has been.
Like it feels like either Wednesday or Friday, but not Thursday.
It feels like it should be over.
Yeah.
It feels like it should be over, and I mean my life. No, I mean this week. No, in fairness, and I will do this for weeks if need be to make sure that, everything's covered, to make sure that Kim is taken care of and Mike is where he needs to be, and that's by Kim's side.
Mm-hmm.
I will absolutely do this. But damn, I'm tired.
Thoughts and prayers.
This is, I spent the majority of my career in production in radio as a one-man operation. Like, at the places that I worked before, there was a production department, and it was me. Never before in radio did I ever feel like I needed a two-man operation until I came here. And I blame sales for that, because them sons of guns hustle. They are on their hustle. Thomas Beard especially. He's absolutely on his hustle. And they keep us busy. They really, really do. We are a two-man operation, and it requires both of us to make the cogs move smoothly. And they just have not this week. Yeah. Despite my best interest, there's the little things. Like, I'm a hoarder. Well, okay, I'm not a hoarder, but I'm the son of a hoarder. My mom is a terrible, terrible hoarder. So what I tend to do, and by mistake, and honestly, is I don't throw things away enough. Mm-hmm. Like, I will let stuff accumulate, and then eventually I'll be like, okay, I need to purge, and I'll just throw it all away. Mm-hmm. I'm like that with emails too. I don't tend to like delete emails or move them. Yeah. Mike is great at that. Every day, by the end of our day, our email inbox is empty. Yeah. I have not deleted or moved a single email this whole week.
Oh, I'm the same.
He's going to flip a lid when he comes back and sees a full inbox. Like, he's going to flip a lid. I know he is.
Well, I try to like unsubscribe from as much as possible. That way I don't get too much. That by the end of the month, it's like, okay, just read everything that I need to read and then delete it all.
See, I can't. I'll tell you this right now. I can go and in real time tell you my inbox. Let's see, right here. My inbox right now, I have 3,156 messages or emails. I just haven't deleted them.
Okay, how many things does he subscribe to?
No, this is my personal email. And
okay.
You know what I blame for this? So a couple of months ago, I needed a loan. I had to apply for a loan. And I made the mistake of applying online. Mm-hmm. So now I get probably 20 to 30 emails a day that are just garbage. And these are the ones that go past spam, like the ones that they feel I need to see. Plus, the program we use for production is called Wavestar.
Okay.
And every action that is taken in Wavestar, I get an email saying that something has changed. If Tana puts a number on a spot, I get an email saying the value of this has changed. If someone changes one word of a script, I get an email. So most of these emails literally are from Wavestar. Most of my emails. Of the 3,156 emails I have, most of them are from Wavestar. The rest of them are from, shady corporations trying to take my money and identity. But
dude,
that's beside the point.
Signing up for Indeed was the worst thing ever for me.
Yeah.
They don't actually help you find a job. Mm-hmm. They just send you emails of things that are hiring, and then they don't even apply for you. You have to apply yourself first of all.
Right.
But I've been getting emails from them, not because I could unsubscribe from them anytime I want, but I just haven't.
Right.
For some reason.
I understand that completely. You're signing up for a sketchy program when while you're signing up for it, they offer you ABC Mouse for 3 months for free. You're like, oh no, I've gone too far. They have too much of my information now. This is going to happen for months. It's just going to keep coming.
Yeah. So Netflix and Hulu do that too. It's like, or Paramount Plus rather. It's like, really? You want like a 2 months for free, maybe? Or
here's the thing. I've had the same phone number, and I like the fact that I've had the same phone number for most of my adult life. Mm-hmm. Like, it hadn't changed, and that is great for people that know me because they can get a hold of me. They don't have to look my number up. It's there. I feel like I could undergo a complete identity change if I just changed my phone number. Like, I feel like I could start again as a new person. I'm like Joe Colorado from Roanoke, Virginia. If I just change my phone number, that's like the one hurdle that's keeping me from that.
The thing is that this is how my brain works. That that sort of creates like a black hole now, and like all these things that you were subscribed to are now just endlessly. It's just wasted data going into the ether.
Right.
That's just how my brain works.
No,
though.
you're absolutely right though. It is. I subscribe to thousands of hours of content every month, and I watch 6 of those hours.
Yeah, like you have to delete every account first before you change your phone number.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. Because everything requires like that, or if you decide to, go off of social and delete your Facebook, how are you going to sign into anything? Everybody signs up via Facebook or Google.
Yeah.
But
that's why I don't do that.
Yeah. Well, it makes things convenient. It really does, because I'm a forgetful person. So if I can just sign into everything via Facebook or Google, I'm going to do that. It's just easier. 13 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let me give you the rundown for this morning. We are scheduled to have Mayor Tim Jennings in this morning to chat about the city council meeting tonight. We'll see if we have him in. If not, we're going to rerun the interview we had with Superintendent Brian Luck with the Roswell Independent School District as we kick off the school year. It's been a busy time, and school board meeting just wrapped up, so we'll run that interview coming up here in just a few minutes if the mayor does not grace us with his presence. 13 minutes after 8 o'clock, let's pause and get you up to date with that weather. It does it to me every time. I'm not mad at you, computer. I just wish you would cooperate like you do with Mike. Let's get you up to date with that weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Showers and thunderstorms are expected this afternoon, and a few of those could have some heavy rainfall. We're starting to get some moist air coming in from the monsoon. This afternoon's high should be about 90 and partly cloudy. Overnight, maybe a shower in the evening, our low near 70, and then mostly sunny and about 90 again on Friday. Isolated afternoon thunderstorms, and then sunny and hot for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. 14 minutes after 8 o'clock, because I needed to chew time while I update my weather. Currently 68 degrees. Winds out of the northeast at around 13 miles an hour. The humidity is about 87% with a barometer at 30.25 inches and a dew point of 64 degrees. Again, I don't know what the soil temperature is. Stop asking. 91 degrees for the high today with mostly cloudy skies. Scattered showers, thunderstorms throughout the day from before 9 a.m. and then scattered showers and thunderstorms afternoon. 40% chance of rain for today. 20% chance of the wet stuff for tonight under isolated showers, thunderstorms. Partly cloudy and a overnight low of 71 degrees. Mostly sunny and a high of around 94 for your Friday. Winds out of the northwest 5 to 10 miles an hour later in the afternoon. Partly cloudy and 68 for your Friday night. Winds out of the southeast 5 to 10, becoming south after midnight. Sunny skies and a high around 95 degrees. Winds out of the southeast 5 to 10 miles an hour for your Saturday. That's when the heat comes back to Roswell. Sunny skies and 96 for Sunday, 97 for your Monday, and a slight chance for some showers next week. 20% chance of rain Tuesday night into Wednesday. 70 for the overnight low, and Tuesday night, Wednesday, 95 degrees for the high. Hey, real quickly, I wanted to let you know that our friends over at Big O Tires, they're celebrating a big anniversary. That's right. They are celebrating their 60th anniversary. And, usually when you have a birthday, you get the presents. This time, Big O Tires is having a birthday, and they're giving you the presents. That's right. They're giving you some great discounts. You can save up to $100 on your next set of 4 Big O brand tires at participating locations. Again, Big O Tires celebrating their 60th anniversary, and they want to give you the present. Save $100 on any set of 4 Big O brand tires now through the end of the month at any participating Big O Tires here in southeastern New Mexico. 16 minutes after 8 o'clock. Not totally sure if our guest has arrived. We're going to pause, pay a couple of these bills, and after these, if our guest has not arrived, we will replay the interview we had yesterday with Roswell Independent School District Superintendent Mr. Brian Luck on A Morning Without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
August is back to school month. It's an exciting time of year, but it's important to keep safety in mind as you send loved ones off to school. Central Valley Electric Cooperative would like to share some safety tips to keep in mind. Slow down and watch for school zones. Put your phone away. Don't get distracted. Stop for buses loading or unloading students. CVE wishes everyone a safe transition back to school. Remember to be safe and be smart this school year.
Pressure Services LLC in Artesia has immediate openings for experienced vacuum truck, kill truck, and hydrovac operators. Operators must hold a Class A CDL or Class D CDL, at least 2 years of experience, and be at least 25 years of age. All positions require a clean driving record and must be able to pass a DOT drug and alcohol screen. Pressure Services offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contributions toward health benefits. Please apply in person at 402 West Main in Artesia, inside the Age Safety Facility. Equal opportunity employer.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
One of my favorite quotes goes like this: "Thank God every morning when you get up that you have something to do that day which must be done, whether you want to or not. Being forced to work and forced to do your best will breed in you temperance, self-control, diligence, strength of will, cheerfulness, and contentment, along with 100 other virtues which the idle will never know." Pretty great quote. Sometimes the daily grind, the monotony of our schedule, and even the jobs that bless us with our livelihoods can get mundane as we begin to view our obligations as ball and chain. Maybe it's time for an attitude change. This week, while the kids are returning to school and schedules are amping up again, let's view our work and our responsibilities as a blessing from God. Colossians 3 reads like this: "Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as a reward."
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here, and I can tell you it's not always easy being a female in a male-dominated business like roofing. I remember one time I was at a meeting to bid on the roof for a local college, and it was me and 13 men. Well, I won that bid, and I'd like to win your business too. My dad was a contractor, and I've been around building and roofing my whole life. I'm licensed and bonded, and I've forgotten more about roofing than most roofers ever knew in the first place. But what really sets Trustmark apart is an obsessive attention to detail that ensures that everything goes smoothly the first time. I promise we will treat you right with respect, and we will make you happy. So yeah, it might be a bit odd for a woman to own a roofing company, but give us a try. Let us give you an estimate for your roof. I think you'll be glad you called. For all your roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. A group of 12 or more cows is called a flink. If you have only 11 cows, that's called a lot of cow pies. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 21 minutes after 8 o'clock on your Wednesday morning. Joining us in studio this morning, Mr. Brian Luck, RSD Superintendent. How are you doing this morning?
Doing well. Good morning. Thank you for having me today.
Boy, howdy. It's a crazy morning. We are not on the air technically, but we are still online, ksbptv.com, of course, through Facebook and our YouTube page. And we'll have this interview up on all of our social media a la carte after this as well, so you can feel free to share So you're heading into the fire. 2022-2023 season kickstarting as of Thursday of last week.
Yes, sir.
It's all underway. I mean, everybody's going back, and
Yes.
so far so good.
You know what? Actually, yes, very good. Knock on wood. We've had probably one of the best. Well, being as this is my second year,
sure.
And most everything would be better from what we had last year to start off with. We've had a really good start. We've been out in all the buildings. We've heard from a lot of teachers, a lot of parents that, this just felt right. That if there was ever such a thing of back to sort of normal, this one kind of hit it for us.
It did. And the funny thing is, I've heard from a lot of parents. They said that it feels like we're starting early this year. But the funny thing is, Facebook made liars out of all of us, because I was looking at our memories, and the exact same day we sent our kids back to school last year, we were getting Facebook memory posts from the same thing from last year. So it was the exact same day.
The good old days, and they're not that old, of waiting until mid-August to start. We haven't done that in quite a while.
Right.
And I think, yes, we have just sort of shifted back, a day or two here and there over the last 10, 15 years. And we're traditionally somewhere around the first week of August. That's when we've been starting. I know you've got other schools in the area that are going back tomorrow. I know, I think Artesia goes back tomorrow.
Right.
But I know here we've been going back in this week multiple times. So feel pretty confident with that. The state did ask for some extended days from us. They didn't mandate it, but they did ask, and we obliged, and it actually worked out into a calendar that had already been posted. It was a 3-year calendar that was adopted, and it was posted, and it's been online for a while now.
Now, this is the first. You said this is your second year officially as under the title of superintendent. So this is technically your first year where we're, as like you mentioned, as close to back to normal as we possibly could be. I mean, given the circumstances.
Well, we'd like to keep it that way too.
Sure.
When I came in, we were still dealing with pretty much heavy duty COVID stuff. Mr. Gottlieb had done a phenomenal job. The admin team there at the district, the teachers, everybody had done such a great job navigating just situations that we really didn't know anything about. We get to the beginning of last year, and we're talking about having kids in school with masks and contact tracing and doing smaller lunch sizes and kids eating in the classroom.
Oh, I'm a dad. I know.
And
I remember what it was like.
It has been very refreshing this year, just actually talking about school stuff. How do we get people back on track? And no, it is my first run at what a normal year kind of looks like, and it's been very nice. I will say that we're dealing with actual school issues is very nice.
The funny thing, during like the height of the pandemic, where everybody was doing remote schooling, my daughter. So I have 2 kids. My daughter's the only one as of like during the pandemic was of school age, and for the most part, she was in school. Like, she actually went to school. She's on the spectrum. So she goes to Del Norte, and she's a part of a program. So she was one of the only students for a quick minute, like one of like 17 students at Del Norte that were allowed access to the school and allowed a school day. So it was all, I didn't experience the pandemic school era like most parents did. Like, because I still sent my kid off to school. The bus came out and picked her up, took her to school. So I didn't experience the pandemic era quite like the average parent did. That being said, it's still been just a monumental task. I can't imagine what it's like for the average school parent to have to shoulder on, remote learning and keeping Chromebooks not broken.
Right.
Like I have an angry kid, but keeping Chromebooks not broken throughout the entire pandemic. It was just so much to shoulder. It was so much to take on.
It was. Had we been in any type of a different community, I don't think we'd get even the results that we got. Our community rallied around. There were a lot of other districts that didn't have the support that we did, and that is back due to our parents, and they bought in. They jumped on board. We had businesses that allowed people to stay home. You had flex schedules going out for employees. I mean, it was literally and Mike and I have talked about that a bunch. Just a total team community effort. And that was my big hope this year, was that we could all reap the reward of what, the ebb and flow. And I've talked about that multiple times on the show of it's time to go back to school. And, your parents don't have to worry about the kids being home over the summer, and everybody can kind of just, you turn that dial and you shift into fall mode, and kids are in school, and you've got a couple holidays and some breaks that come in there, but it allows everybody to get back to their routine.
That's the most, I think that the back to school is the most back to normal feeling that we've had the ability to have. Like sending the kids off to school, parents getting back to day drinking like it should be. It's the way it's back sort of semi back to normal. Now I got to ask, what's so obviously the school board, coping with all this too. What's the temperature of the school board been? How have things been there?
Tell you, they supportive, totally supportive across the board. They recognize the job that they have. I mean, and it is a huge, they volunteered for that, and it's a monumental task of doing things to help kids, and that's not easy. I mean, you're making friends nowhere,
right? You got to make the tough decisions,
and you've got some tough decisions that you have to make, and they've done a great job with that. They've been very supportive. They have allowed us to wander into some areas that I don't necessarily want to say mistakes, but areas that we quickly retrieved from. We tried some things over the course of last year to try to help out with some timing for our teachers. Sure. Gave me a little bit of flexibility, but then also we're glad whenever they saw that we changed to go back to some other things. So I feel really, really blessed to have the group that I've got. We did grab 2 new members at January, and they've dove right in and have been, making impacts and getting involved and getting informed. So very, very blessed to have the group we've got.
And that's intimidating to be the new kid on the block, to jump into a group that already kind of has their bearings and find yours. It's a lot to deal with. So props to the new members of the school board. So let's talk about the school board meeting.
You bet.
Absolutely. How did things go?
We did good. We had it got a little lengthy. We had some pretty good discussion in a couple areas. Conducted some general business. We welcomed our new principals and assistant principals, and had quite a good group up there. I mean, we have, and I'm remiss I didn't bring my group here with me today, but did get the opportunity to hire about 4 or 5 new principals.
Awesome.
About the same number of assistant principals, and got a chance to put a name and a face. My board had been hearing names or reading names in text messages about welcome aboard, and actually they got a chance to put a name to a face.
I was part of a board of directors for a quick minute, and one of the things during the pandemic era is we had our meetings via Zoom. Like, I was a part of this board for about 6 to 7 months before I actually met in person half of the members of the board. And I know it was probably the same for you guys. You guys were carrying on conducting meetings mostly via Zoom. Eventually, in-person meetings started back, I'm sure.
Yes.
But so it's a change of pace kind of thing. But yeah, finally get a chance to put a name to a face is definitely an awesome thing.
Absolutely, sure. And a lot with the new. Some of those had bumped up from assistant principals as well, and or moved from an assistant principal or teacher at this school to a different school. So getting an opportunity for a reset, and now I'm going to equate that person with this building. Just gave them an opportunity to do that, and
Sure.
and that was pretty nice. Then conducted just some business, went through our, approved some of our bills, did all of that kind of general stuff, and then went in and had some action items. Got our Roswell High School choir is going to go hopefully to Orlando, Florida.
Nice.
So anytime a group wants to go out of state, they have to have board approval. So
Sure.
even if that's just to Lubbock or to El Paso, anytime they cross the state line, we ask for board approval. And something like the trip that they're looking at right there is going to have a lot of moving parts, a lot of fundraising, and I know that they need to get that going. We did have the Charlie's Angels dance team came in as well. Had a little bit of confusion as to what they were going to do. Were they just general comments, or did they actually want an action item?
The multiple championship.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
yes.
the multi-time champion Charlie's Angels dance team. I feel like that needs to be stated.
I tell you what,
they're phenomenal. They are so good.
A side note to that: so at graduation last year, I was given the opportunity, like all the rest of the superintendents. I mean, I was at all of them, and I got to shake the kids' hands as they came across the stage, and it was incredible. You know, the number of young ladies that were coming across, and that they had, you know, multiple state championship rings on. And it was I mean, it never ceased to amaze me that when they would come across and I'd look down and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to fist bump you. I think I'll just shake your hand.
Yeah, you'd get carpal tunnel by the end of that.
I think you're going to hurt me if I try to fist bump you. But no, Miss Castro does such a great job with that group. Absolutely. And I have no doubt that we'll get that approved for them and get them on down the road so that they can do their fundraising for their trip. And I believe it's in Florida as well. But just some work on that. A couple of the things that sort of jumped out at people. When I came on board, there wasn't really a standardized evaluation tool for me. So I commend the board. They have taken the time. They've done their research. They've consulted with other districts, and they've got an actual tool. So it's a document, and what it is it's going to give me an opportunity to strive to meet their expectations. So it's not anything up in the air. It's not this goal that nobody knows that I'm reaching for, or only a couple of our, you know, myself or a couple of them. It's very standard. It's very genuine, and they approved that last night, so that we can continue with that.
I respect the fact that you put in place like almost a fail-safe for yourself. That there wasn't a system of checks and balances for the superintendent himself, him or herself, and that you established that now. I respect it, but at the same time, you sort of like gave yourself like, you know, like the plank to walk off of, so to speak.
And I don't look at it like that. I mean, it would be easy. It would be easy to do. I'd rather know the game that I'm going for. I think and that's one thing that this board has done a really good job with is clear-cut expectations. But given that it's written down, where I have the opportunity to say, okay, there's no question about this. And the neat thing about it is the goals really do align with the community. So, I mean, this isn't something that was generated by a firm in another place. It's local. So.
I chuckle because the phrase "the times they are a-changing," so to speak. When I was in school, and I'm speaking out of school here, but when I was in school, and this wasn't my superintendent, but my principal, I'm not going to say his name, but he was a known problem drinker in the community, like a known issue. Like, it's just nice to see that the school system itself is kind of like holding itself, you know, to task.
Yes, and again, I think that starts with the board. I mean, we had a couple presentations last night when we were talking about some of our data. We had some PSAT and some SAT scores, and you know, we presented the numbers, and they were what they were, and you know, we're going to be very transparent. And again, I think that comes back to our board leadership. The 5 individuals that are up there, they have nothing to hide. I mean, things may not be good. But we're not gonna try to hide from them because they don't look good.
Right.
Our goal is to try to fix those things. So, yes, the times are a little different, and I think you're. Now,
granted, I went to school 20 years ago. Like I graduated in 2002, so it was in a completely different era.
I saw a presentation one time, and I can't remember what the difference was, or what even then the presentation's probably 10 years ago, give or take now, and it was like the technology that has not been invented today is obsolete in a year or two.
Yeah,
and I think that has just shot even faster than that where we are now. I mean, we were talking about a long-range strategic plan, and the lady that was doing the plan said, oh, you know, when we were looking at different things or renovating or remodeling or whatever, she says, okay, now keep in mind, the people that will inherit that building are this year's kindergartners. And that really resonated home. I was just like, oh my gosh, that's, 12 years from now, 11 years from now, depending on how you look at it. and how things will be different in 11 years. And so when you're having to plan and you're having to adjust for those things, that's tough.
It is.
That's tough, and it takes special people to think that far in advance.
And learning itself has changed. I mean, you know, I come from an era where the going phrase was TV's gonna rot your brain. My daughter literally learned how to read from seeing like YouTube, Facebook logos and associating the letters from the logos with things that people were saying. And she learned how to read from that. And she's now reading a grade level above her own grade. Like it blows my mind to think how learning has changed, how it's advanced to this, like we're utilizing technology in a way that excites me. I'm genuinely excited about it. It's you know, we're using it to actually feed brains for a change.
One of our trainers that came has been to Roswell several times made a comment one time. She said, "Well, if you can YouTube it, why are you teaching it?" And at first I was just like, "Well, I don't need YouTube to teach." And the more and again, that's been 2 years ago that I heard her say that 2-3 years ago. But we are teaching such a different child than even 5 years ago. And with the evolution of technology, and you throw a wonky year and a half of going home and actually requesting that they utilize that, and it has made us rethink some things when we come back into the classroom of, you know, how this is your perfect opportunity to do something different. Sure. You have the green light. There's no punishment for trying something different here.
It's not sitting a kid in front of a TV or a tablet. It's literally utilizing what they're saying and then incorporating it into your teaching. I think it gives teachers just a great leg up.
Well, and I've actually seen a couple classrooms that were basically like flipped in reverse, and we've had one of the teachers that I watched came in and put on a video of her teaching. It was her teaching, and she was giving the lesson on her Promethean board, so it's a video, and she's actually walking around the room answering questions as the kids are taking notes off of her lesson.
Wow.
I had another lady that that's what you do at night. Your homework is to watch the lesson. And then when you get to class the next day, that is where you get the chance to ask the questions. So it's a flipped version. So as far as you know, there should not be any excuse for not having your work turned in. You know, and I don't know what the percentage is, but a large percentage of your zeros at the high schools and mid schools is kids not doing their homework.
Sure.
And if you eliminate that as an excuse, it does change the game a little bit when it comes to that. And it's tough because some of the parents, you know, they're old school and they're just, well, what do you mean you don't have any homework? You haven't had homework in math or English, you know, science. What's wrong with you? You know, I always had homework whenever we did that, and it's a different philosophy.
It stressed us out, you know. I mean, you remember we had piles of it. We'd get done with school, we'd go home, and we had more school. It was just so stressful. So it's nice to know that we found a good, I don't know, work-life balance, so to speak, for kids, and it's just nice to see.
Well, you mentioned work. Society's changed too. We've got several of our kids, and we really found this a lot in COVID, because of the way this job shut down and this one didn't shut down. Several of our kids were the breadwinners, and so whenever you would say, you know, why are you working so late? You know, well, my mom or my dad's job, they furloughed them, they laid them off for 2 weeks, and my job that seemed fairly menial the other day has now become the primary reason, and that's not easy to turn off.
No.
And, you know, and our businesses in town count on great kids that will show up, be on time, do what's asked of them. And you don't want to, you know, be a detriment for that relationship for them. But it also has created, you know, some thought process of, well, maybe we want to look at a different type of a schedule for some of these kids.
Sure. I've heard a lot of schools around the country toying with the idea of a later start time for school, starting at like a 10 a.m. to like a later day start, basically.
Some of those ideas have kicked in. Our instruction office last year, under the direction of Mrs. Cole, I mean, she's done a great job. They put the team together, and the title of what they were looking was a high school redesign, and a lot of those things came up. some of those are some really big pushes.
Sure.
And we're just maybe not quite ready for some of that. Now, it would be interesting, your first year in college and you didn't have a morning class,
right?
Ever. It was a shift and it was a change. Or you tried a night class and that really might not have been the best thing for you to do, was a night class. So, everything's on the table.
Sure.
And I think our biggest deal is to remember that we're trying to get the kids across the finish line.
That's it.
And, again, whatever we've got to do to get them there.
Sure. We're just trying to get kids to walk across the stage at the end of the day. That's the ultimate goal.
Yes.
But also with a little bit of knowledge, going into that.
Well, and we've had a really good relationship with the local business community, Mike Espiritu, Bud Kunkel, the groups that have come in and just said, hey, look, we don't necessarily need you to teach the kids how to do this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
But we sure do need the kids to be wanting to be, and that can have some really soft skills. And could we get to them maybe before they graduate so that we could try to get them to stick around? Because what we found is a lot of them they're going to do that anyway. And it's of no fault of anything. You always have these really high aspirations whenever you're young. Everybody's going to move away and they're all going to go do these great things. And the plain hard fact of it is that doesn't always happen.
It's true.
So that's another one of our goals, is that we're putting out a product that's going to be good for Roswell.
Mm-hmm. And I that's another thing that a lot of people have talked about as far as like school is what should be taught in school. Should it be, reading, writing, arithmetic like it used to be? Do we really need cursive? And there's a whole argument with that. I feel like a lot of what high school should be focusing on is specific life skills, especially in the junior and senior year of high school. Like, I feel like that I had one semester of economics. Mm-hmm. I really wished I'd have had a lot more, like I really wished I'd had just a little more economic knowledge.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because you just brought up something that was, I would bet you, and I don't know because we didn't plan this ahead of time, you probably had a pretty good economics teacher.
He was great,
and that if you go back in your history, the classes that you enjoyed the most might not have been the ones that you would have thought so, but that you had a really good educator / operator in front of you. And you take that back, and that's one of our goals, is to make sure that we've got highly qualified in our rooms, that we have subs. We do.
Sure.
We are no different than any other employer in the nation right now. We have some shortages, but that we try to minimize that as much as possible, and that hopefully we can find it.
Man. Life happens sometimes. It's like case in point. Mike's been out this week because of situations with Kim.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, life happens sometimes. You have to have subs, and you guys have a great set of substitute teachers. Actually, one of my close personal friends is a sub, and I know the process that you have to go through to become a sub. It's not easy.
No,
it's definitely there's a lot to it. So it's good to know that you guys are putting top people in position.
Well, and we interviewed we trained a monstrous number. I think it was like 300 and something subs in the last month. It's been incredible, and you say that number, and then you say, but we're still short because of what you just said.
Right.
Life things do happen, and we always preach, your family's first, right. And the district will still function. We're still going to run, but our hope is that our teachers feel supported, that they can do things, that if things come up, that they know somebody's got their back. Either that be somebody at the building, that they're going to get a quality, person that's going to come in and take care of their kids. Might not teach them the way they, I don't expect somebody to walk in and never miss a beat with the lesson that you had planned,
right?
But that they take care of them, that the kids are safe, and that they're, in a good spot, ready whenever that teacher gets back.
Sure. I've said this a number of times, but I see parents, and I understand the need to go to bat for your kids, but I see parents in this almost combative state with their teachers and with their kids' team. And I say team because my kid, again, she's on the spectrum, but she has, with her IEPs and stuff, there's a whole team of people that I sit down and talk to and get updated by. And I trust my daughter's team to the end of the earth.
They have done a phenomenal job putting her where she needs to be. And
one that makes me feel good. I don't always hear positive stories, but I do think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. If you can start with your plan, the school year starts. I was told it would be on this day. It's on this day. The things that I have been told have come true. The lunch is going to be at this time. The pickup and drop off works like this. The more things we can stack to show our parents that we've got things together, hopefully some of that goes away. Society right now is pretty mad.
Yeah.
And I mean, you take school out of the equation. I mean, there's if you're standing in a line anywhere, you're taking your life in your own hands sometimes, just because somebody's going to have an issue with what's happening. They're having to wait. It didn't work right. The cash register is broke.
Sure.
They got poor service. And our hope is that we can be one of the few constants to show that we've got our act together. If we tell you this, it's going to be this, and then we go from there.
I know we've gone like wholly off the rails on this conversation, but
no different than with mine.
But this is another thing that I mean, how as a school administrator, how do you deal with living in a time when there's a shooting every other day? I mean, I know there's really no way to answer this question, but like we're in an unreal world. It just seems like you guys are handed a daunting task of trying to form a school system around chaos.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, is the C. 42. 42 is the answer to everything, by the way.
No, I'll write that one down. I don't want to say that it's not any different than when it was years ago, because
Right.
it is. I think you'd be remiss to say that it's not.
Sure.
I do think that the levels have changed a bunch. There has always been things that could cause schools to go off the rails. The one for us is we feel very confident that we have parent support. So like we lock our doors.
Yes.
So our front
That
doors
is key.
Our front doors of the building are locked, and they don't all have the little doorbell cameras yet. They're on order.
Sure.
So we rely very heavily on our parents that, yes, I'm sorry you're late. I'm sorry, you didn't get out of work quite the time you thought, and in the doctor's office. And we're going to rely heavily on the doctor's offices of, hey, if they're late, cut them some slack.
Hey, we're back on the air. I just checked. We're technically on the air. We're low level, but we're on the air.
Awesome.
So that's cool. So we're broadcasting.
There you go.
I was just curious, so I thought I'd check.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, and we've dealt with that on a years ago with what happened at Barindo. I mean, it's hit close to home, so we know that's a thing that can happen. But I think that you tapped on something that is absolutely key, and I pointed this out shortly after Uvalde. Every school in Roswell, every single school is locked down tight. It's impossible to get into that school without at least checking in with someone.
Right.
And that's key.
So the irony to the Uvalde deal, I mean, and I don't mean that disrespectfully.
Sure.
About it, actually, as it turns out, and it could have even been when it was going on, I was in a meeting with our district supervisor, security liaison person, LJ Harold, and we were having a pretty good argument about should the front doors be locked? Should they not be locked? COVID is over, because unfortunately that was one of the things that was the reason the doors were locked at the front was COVID. And we were getting a little bit of backlash as far as COVID's over, you need to open your buildings up. And we had just made the decision, we're going to lock them. And that news literally starts breaking as we're finishing up that meeting. But again, it's people in our community realizing that we are doing that not to make your day worse.
Right.
And that, there's something happening to your student could make it a whole lot worse.
I'll take a minor inconvenience any day of the week, knowing that my daughter is safe.
Well, that's our plan. And then, too, we've and Mike and I have touched base a little bit about this is, we have some plans in place that we're not really out in the public with, just because we don't want that out in the public.
It doesn't need to be.
Our crew, our teams, our teachers have been put through training. They're going to continue to go through training. We're going to continue to try to adapt and just try to make sure that, we're not somebody that's on the next list. We did have that. And as a principal at Goddard, I got to live 7 years of that because I had those kids for the next 7 years. And the night that we graduated the last group, it was a big deal for me because, we could actually have a fire drill without thinking, okay, what is this fixing to do to somebody? Are they going to have flashbacks? We could, it was just different. And, I did get out there that day to help with the evacuation. And that's something that stuck with me. So
that's awesome. But yeah, I genuinely, I appreciate everything the school board and you as a superintendent are doing to ensure that the most normal school year possible can happen.
Boy, that'd be nice.
The most boring school year ever. That's what we're hoping for.
Amen.
Let's just make it a boring year. We're going a little long. So folks, if parents have any questions,
sure, give us a call.
Want to reach out to you, how do they get a hold of you?
District office, 575-627, and we'll go general switchboard, 2500.
627-2500, and they'll get you to the department that you need to be in.
That's exactly right. And again, we're up and running. We've got lots going on right now. You got lots of trying to figure this out, trying to figure that out. Be patient in the school zones.
Yeah. Please slow down.
Yes, and we've had a couple of.
I'm a delivery driver. I understand you're in a rush. Please slow down.
Well,
okay?
A couple of our lights, and it's I get tickled. If you're from here and you live in a neighborhood, you know where the school zone is, and you know the time of day that kids are out.
Right.
And if the lights are not on, you still know the kids are out. I would hate to have to have somebody try to explain. Well, the lights weren't on.
To my knowledge, there's no lights at Roswell High. But there's still a posted school.
There's some posted, yes.
So you just know,
right? Yeah. And the one I'm thinking of, we've got a little bit of an issue with the one out by Berrindo Elementary School.
Oh yeah, because of the Walmart.
And I don't but it hadn't been functioning. It was on this morning at 5:30. So I'm hoping that maybe they got that one fixed. But just give us a little patience. We've got new people helping with our pickup and our drop off. Like I said, just give it a couple minutes, give it a couple days. It'll all start to work out.
Folks, just remember, if you see a sign, you're going to pay double. Okay?
Oh, buddy. Yes.
So slow down. That's all we're saying.
Yep.
And be aware. All right. Sir, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. I know it's very valuable. And luckily, half of this interview went out over the airwaves.
I love it. Glad we did it.
And the rest of it will be available on all of our social media moving forward. But thank you so much for your time. We appreciate having you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, sir. 6 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with that local news.
For New Mexico gubernatorial candidate Mark Ronchetti. According to the Ronchetti campaign, on Sunday at 4 p.m., DeSantis will take the stage in Carlsbad to campaign for the New Mexico Republican. Also, DeSantis, the U.S. Representative Yvette Harrell, will also appear at the rally as she seeks re-election this year. Ronchetti is seeking to oust incumbent Democrat Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. A Carlsbad man accused of killing an 8-year-old girl 2 years ago has now been released from the Eddy County Jail. A judge signed the orders for 34-year-old Juan Lerma. The order says Lerma must remain on house arrest with a GPS monitor. He can only leave his home for court hearings and to meet with his lawyer. The judge also ordered Lerma not to use the internet in any manner, including social media. Lerma is accused of killing 8-year-old Samantha Rubino, whose body was found wrapped in trash bags in a garbage can at his home. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Showers and thunderstorms are expected this afternoon, and a few of those could have some heavy rainfall. We're starting to get some moist air coming in from the monsoon. This afternoon's high should be about 90 and partly cloudy. Overnight, maybe a shower in the evening, our low near 70, and then mostly sunny and about 90 again on Friday. Isolated afternoon thunderstorms, and then sunny and hot for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. A federal judge ruled Wednesday that Walgreens can be held responsible for contributing to San Francisco's opioid crisis for over-dispensing highly addictive drugs for years without proper oversight and failing to identify and report suspicious orders as required by law. The San Francisco city attorney said the pharmacy chain continually violated what they were required to do under the Federal Controlled Substances Act. Travelers got some welcome news in Wednesday's inflation report from the federal government. Airfares are coming down and at a faster clip. The price of the average airline ticket dropped 7.8% in July to $311 after a 1.8% dip in June. Lower prices for gasoline and travel were big reasons that overall inflation slowed a bit in July, although consumer prices were still up 8.5% from a year ago. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Hey, Mark.
Morning, Sam.
Having the house remodeled?
Nah, I got termites, and they're chewing the place up.
Welcome to the neighborhood. I've got them too.
Really?
Yeah, just had a termite treatment put in.
You did? I didn't see a lot of digging around your house.
That's because I went with the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System. It's a lot easier to install than what you're doing. They just place bait stations around the house, and then the termites share the bait with each other until the colony is gone. No digging, no chemical solution, just simple protection that's environmentally responsible.
Wow.
Yeah, I even got a green chemistry award from the EPA.
Centricon, huh? I'll be right back.
Hey, where you going?
Tell these guys to stop digging. I'm getting Centricon.
Call Bob Reed Pest Control today for all of Southeast New Mexico. 575-623-5344.
Roswell Skin Center is here to provide comprehensive skin care to southeastern New Mexico in a friendly and warm environment. Dr. Cometti and his team continue to offer a full scope of medical and cosmetic dermatology services, from treating skin cancer to helping you look your best. Roswell Skin Center is proud to introduce Anna Ingalls, licensed esthetician who specializes in cosmetic treatments, including laser rejuvenation, hair removal, facials, chemical peels, and more. Anna is accepting new patients, and when you schedule your first treatment, you can receive $50 off and begin earning valuable discounts to be enjoyed throughout the year. Schedule with Anna by calling 575-208-2509, and for more info on our services and rewards, go to roswellskin.com.
Sometimes when you hit the road hits back. That's why MTA Mechanics and Tire carries major brands like Bridgestone, Cooper, and Michelin. Not only do you get top brand tires, but you also get a nationwide warranty. So wherever you are, MTA Mechanics and Tire has you covered. Stop by or let MTA come to you with their MTA Mobile Tire Shop, covering Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia. They can come to your home, office, or even the airport, and alignment is included on all sets of 4 tires. MTA Mechanics and Tires, getting you back on the road.
Good morning. Start your day with breakfast from the Valley Cafe. Try the Breckwich, full or half, with sausage, crispy bacon, fluffy eggs, pepper jack cheese, and maple Dijon spread, all served on a toasted sourdough. Or their breakfast burritos with your choice of sausage, bacon, or both, perfect to grab and go. You aren't dreaming. The Valley Cafe, open 7 a.m. The Orange Building across from Church on the Move, 801 Brasher in Roswell.
Think you can't afford health insurance? Think again. New Mexico's health insurance exchange is Be Well NM, and we're here to help you find and sign up for affordable health coverage. You may even qualify for financial assistance. Call 885-996-6449 or visit BeWellNM.com.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
I'm Rich Thomason. When it comes to inflation, we haven't heard this lately. Inflation dropped, falling 0.5% on the wholesale level from June to July, offering at least a glimmer of hope that we could finally get some relief from skyrocketing prices in the months ahead. Compared to a year ago, the producer price index rose 9.8% in July. Controversy over the FBI's raid on former President Trump's Florida home being met with silence by the Justice Department. That's enraged House Republicans. They want an FBI briefing on the raid.
I think it's unprecedented to have a former president raided by the Department of Justice, the FBI.
Ohio GOP Congressman Mike Carey.
And again, for what they're saying, I haven't really had the opportunity to really delve into what they're accusing him of. But I think that there are other ways to go about doing things.
Mr. Trump's son Eric tells the Daily Mail that FBI agents did not allow his dad's lawyer to examine the purported warrant. The Wall Street Journal reports it was an informant, someone close to the former president, who triggered the FBI raid, guiding agents to the location of documents that were seized. Mid howls of protests from Democrat leaders, Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott says those Democrats should demand that President Biden fix the broken border. Abbott has been the target of criticism for sending busloads of illegal immigrants, those who want to go, to Washington, D.C. and New York City. Meanwhile, New York's Mayor Eric Adams turning down an invitation from Abbott to tour the border to see firsthand the devastating impact of Biden's border policies. Wall Street, the Dow is up 267 points, NASDAQ ahead 93. More on these stories at townhall.com.
You find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-859-6688. That's 800-859-6688.
All of us come from somewhere. All of us have origin stories.
From executive producer Larry Elder.
Divine Providence was clearly operating in the lives of Black Americans.
And director Justin Malone.
When I was growing up, we were never taught that America was bad. We were raised to love America.
Comes the continuation of their 2020 hit film, Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom Part 2, An American Odyssey. Pre-order today on Salem Now.
North Korea claims a disputed victory over COVID-19 while casting blame on Seoul for the outbreak.
The North's leader, Kim Jong-un, has declared victory at a national meeting where his sister said Kim had suffered a fever himself and then laid dubious blame against South Korea for the outbreak, while vowing deadly retaliation. North Korea's outbreak statements are widely doubted and are thought to be aimed at helping Kim maintain absolute control of the country. Some experts believe the victory statement signals Kim's intent to move to other priorities, but are concerned his sister's remarks could lead to a provocation. I'm Charles Dilatesco.
More than 1,000 firefighters struggling to contain a massive wildfire. It's burned a large area of pine forest in southwestern France. Local officials say that more than 26 square miles have been charred since Tuesday. News and analysis at townhall.com. San Francisco wins an opioid-related court battle with a big drugstore chain.
A federal judge has ruled that Walgreens can be held responsible for contributing to San Francisco's opioid crisis for over-dispensing opioids for years without proper oversight and failing to identify and report suspicious orders, which is required by law. The city of San Francisco says the pharmacy chain continually violated what they were required to do under the Federal Controlled Substances Act by failing to track opioid prescriptions and failed to see the many red flags of physicians and others who were dramatically overprescribing. A U.S. district judge has ruled that for 15 years, Walgreens dispensed hundreds of thousands of pills, eventually contributing to the city's hospitals being overwhelmed with opioid patients. Walgreens said it will appeal the ruling, which it said was not supported by facts and law. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
The Dow is up 248 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil wishing, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to our number 3
Trace Invierno
of A Morning Without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday. Happy overcast, rain-covered Family Gredunza Thursday. That's a Dr. Seuss reference to those out there. The moss-covered three-handled Family Gredunza. No, nothing.
You know, Dr. Seuss used to make like really deep paintings.
Really?
Like his stuff would get like really
like. I know that he did all of like the illustrations for his books.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a painter.
Yeah, there's a whole like video talking about how it's the darker side of his psyche, and like just he was actually a brilliant painter.
The blue period of Dr. Theodore Geisel.
Yeah.
It's funny too, because if you look back on the history of Dr. Seuss, Dr. Seuss, he originally was a writer for Playboy.
Huh.
Yeah, like he wrote stuff for adults. It's just that he figured out that he kind of has this appeal towards writing for children, and so he started doing that.
Yeah.
And that's where he got famous.
Yeah, it seems like everyone started out doing stuff for adults, and then
doing stuff for Playboy.
And
like,
I want to do stuff for kids now.
And he'd kill me because I can't remember his name offhand. The G. Gordon Liddy. G. Gordon Liddy used to do the interviews for Playboy magazine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Mike grew up basically listening to G. Gordon Liddy off WJFK out of Washington D.C. or out of that area. So G. Gordon Liddy got his start, from what I gather, or at least he, for at one point in his career, was a writer for Playboy. It's like, and now granted, have you seen the documentary that they just recently put out?
No.
It's like an 8-episode breakdown of the life of Hugh Hefner.
Oh no.
There's really not a lot of defending Hugh Hefner these days. Dude's he's a sort of a rough character. You find out some stuff in this documentary that,
I mean, they've been going after him since the 70s.
I mean, now granted, I hate the fact, I hate when they put out a documentary about somebody who's no longer with us that good, bad, or indifferent.
They can't defend themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Good, bad, or indifferent, whether they're just a scum of the earth piece of garbage, they don't have the chance to defend themselves. And that it feels a little bit exploitive, to a point. At the same time, holy moly, dude. Like, wow, some stuff. Like, there was some stuff that came out. Basically, bestiality is the only way to describe some of the stuff that came out about Hugh Hefner, okay? Like, yeah. It got weird in episode 8.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. It was a 9 episodes documentary. And yeah, man, he was out there. He was definitely out there. Wow. Speaking of beasts, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the program from the Roswell Humane Society. She's not a beast herself, but
we were talking about wrestling.
She controls the beast. We were indeed talking about wrestling earlier. Crystal Noble from the Roswell Humane Society going to be joining us later on in this hour of the program. Yeah, we were just kind of waxing reminiscent about wrestling. So now I try not to do this because I know it's not exactly the most popular thing on the planet, and I chose this as like my passion, so to speak. I'm in all in, if you will. But it's also not something that I can really bring up in standard conversation with people. So I try not to bore the radio audience with the one thing that I know the most about, which is pro wrestling.
I can't tell if it's getting more popular or if it's like stagnated.
It's okay. So for a good solid decade and a half, pro wrestling has been run by this one company. And basically, WWE ran it. So there was no competition. There was no need to innovate. There was no need to do anything different. They had their show. They had their audience. They had what they needed. And so it stagnated for a good solid decade and a half. So then, and yeah, there was your Impact, your New Japan's and TNA's, upstarts and whatnot, but they just didn't have the power. They didn't have the money. They didn't have the star power to go up against somebody like a WWE. When Tony Khan and basically the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and
well, before that, 2013 or so, wrestling sort of the niche kind of became more cult.
You
following.
started seeing more of a following to independent wrestling, which was a different style than WWE was doing at the time, because they were doing the standard, wrestling matches.
We had like New Japan.
What you were
stuff
getting
like
was
that.
a lot more high flyers, a lot more spot-based wrestlers, where you'd get these gigantic flips, which obviously don't come off as real as your standard wrestling match, but at the same time, they're epic.
So people started expecting more of WWE.
And then WWE wasn't delivering. They basically said, we don't care what the people have to say. We don't care.
Yeah.
And that's when you started seeing kind of a change in things. There was more of an eye put on the indie scene. And sort of out of that, they did a pay-per-view, and basically Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling teamed up to do a pay-per-view called All In. It was completely independent. There was no like federation that was running it or whatever, and it was a phenomenal pay-per-view. Basically, it was to prove a point that they could sell out a 10,000 seat venue without having the WWE as a backer, and they did it. And that's when Tony Khan got interested in a bunch of these wrestlers, and he started AEW. And from that's been the most competition that WWE has seen in quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
So, they basically put him back on their game a little bit. Couple that with the fact that all this stuff is coming out about Vinnie Mac. He stepped down and now it's up to $19.6 million. I
was about to say who?
Of hush money, Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Of hush money that he's paid out to basically affairs, trysts that he's had over the course of the last, several decades. And more's coming out. So he retired. He moved on. He went to pasture. He's gone now. And so everything's being shaken up at WWE. So Stephanie McMahon and there's another Nick Khan is co-CEOs of WWE, and Triple H.
To Tony Khan?
No relation. Triple H, Paul Levesque, has been put in charge of creative. He's basically doing what Vince was doing back in the day. He's running the show.
Any hope for Shane?
None.
To run anything?
None. So earlier this year, there was a whole thing where he came back and tried to write himself into the Royal Rumble and tried to write himself into the championship picture essentially. And everybody in the back in the office was like, "You're not doing that. We're not letting you do that," and they fired him. So there's no hope for Shane. But Triple H is in charge of creative, and it's gotten good. Not great, but it's getting better, and so it's sort of put the world on notice that pro wrestling's still a thing. And it's been very interesting to kind of take note and kind of sit back and watch, because all of a sudden it's becoming a thing that's talked about now. Most of it's because of Vince McMahon and affairs, but still it's being talked about right now.
What I want to know is, does Tony Khan do anything besides just run it?
Yes.
I know they mention his name, but does he actually come out and act?
He does. So he's not he early on in AEW's existence, he sort of made a point of, I know we're losing so many listeners right now. He made a point, but this is what I know. All right. This is what I know.
It's Sean's show.
That's right. Never mind. I'm not going to say it. He made a point of saying he's not going to be an on-screen character. He didn't want to be Vince McMahon. He didn't want to be, No Chance in Hell, like that guy.
Yeah.
He is running the show, but at the same time, he's very active in the background. He's in gorilla position, which gorilla, for those who don't know, there's basically right before you go out onto the stage of the show, there's a position called the gorilla position, named for Gorilla Monsoon. He used to stand there and watch matches. Okay. So it's the gorilla position is what they call it, and it's the spot right before you walk out on stage. So there's a desk right next to that where Vince McMahon, Tony Khan, whoever, is sitting there with a headset running the show. He's producing everything. He's saying, you go out now, cue the pyro, all this. So he's hands-on, as hands-on as you can be.
Okay, because before when I was watching it, they never actually showed him. They would just show like John Moxley or something in his office, screaming at him and then storming out of his office.
Yeah, you'll see him every now and again pop onto camera, but it's very rare. And I'll tell you why. He's an awkward man. He's a very awkward man.
That's what I'm saying. He probably doesn't have the chops.
Here's the thing. I'm pretty sure he's autistic.
Okay.
And maybe I'm speaking out of school here, but I'm pretty sure he's autistic. And I say this as someone who's confidently not diagnosed, but probably an autistic guy myself. He's awkward. Like he scream talks a lot. He gets very excited about things. There was a press junket. I'm surprised. Our guest, we got a phone call here.
I haven't heard anything. I'll check after this.
Yeah. Losing my train of thought here. There was a press junket about a month ago where he acquired a few new wrestlers, and he like hugged these wrestlers and like put his head into their chest. Like it was like you hug your children. He was hugging these new pro wrestlers that have signed contracts with AEW, and he's such an awkward dude.
That's adorable.
But he's so brilliant. He's such a brilliant mind when it comes to just this one thing.
Right,
he's a savant, I guess, for lack of a better term. He's really good at writing wrestling stories, but nothing else.
That's amazing.
It's a cool story. It's a cool story. I'm going to stop boring the audience. Hopefully, we'll be joined this morning by Crystal Noble. I haven't heard anything different from the Roswell Humane Society. If not, we'll find something else that we can rerun in the meantime. But 18 minutes after 9 o'clock, let's pause and get you up to date with the weather. Before I do it, I'm going to click it to make sure.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Showers and thunderstorms are expected this afternoon, and a few of those could have some heavy rainfall. We're starting to get some moist air coming in from the monsoon. This afternoon's high should be about 90 and partly cloudy. Overnight, maybe a shower in the evening, our low near 70, and then mostly sunny and about 90 again on Friday. Isolated afternoon thunderstorms, and then sunny and hot for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 69 degrees. Nice. Round Roswell Way, partly cloudy skies. Humidity at 87%. With a wind speed out of the northeast at around 6 miles an hour. Barometer at 30.28 inches with a dew point of 65 degrees. Scattered showers and thunderstorms before 10 a.m. today. Then more showers and thunderstorms after 1 p.m. Those storms could produce heavy rain. Partly sunny skies, 91 for the high. Winds out of the north at around 5 miles an hour, becoming east in the afternoon. Chance of rain is around 40%. 40% chance of rain continues into tonight. Scattered showers and thunderstorms before 7 p.m. Some of those storms could produce heavy rain. Partly cloudy, getting down to 71 for the overnight low. For your Friday, mostly sunny, a high of around 94 degrees. Winds out of the northwest at around 5 miles an hour, becoming southeast later in the afternoon. For your Friday night, partly cloudy, dropping down to 68 for the overnight low. I know it's not as rapid of a change as we want, but change is coming. Fall is getting here. It's going to take a while, but it's getting here. Temperatures are at least on the downward swing. Never mind about this weekend. 96 for the high on Saturday, 97 for the high on Sunday. Same thing for Monday, mostly sunny and hot, 97 for Monday. But then the rain comes back into the area and things are starting to cool down. We're getting to close to the back half of August. Things will start to kind of regulate, slowly but surely. We're getting to my favorite time of year, what we call long sleeve t-shirt season. It's my favorite. And hoodie season for the rest of you. Was that our guest?
Oh, I'm not seeing any sign.
There was a phone call.
Well, was there?
Yeah. I just wasn't sure if it was her or someone else. Give it a check. Take a look. And I'm going to eat up the clock. How about that? Hey, real quickly, I wanted to remind you, and I got a phone call yesterday that they have extended the deadline for RSVPs for the Roswell Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico's Trip Down Memory Lane drive-through fundraiser. That deadline has now been extended to the 19th. So you have until the 19th to get your orders in. They definitely want to make sure everybody that wants a ticket gets one. So they have made the decision to extend the deadline just a little bit there for the Trip Down Memory Lane drive-through fundraiser. Again, that's happening on Thursday, August 25th. It's a drive-through event. Now, this is something they've sort of tapped on during the pandemic that kind of became a thing. It's a great way to run things. So they decided, yeah, we're gonna keep doing the drive-through thing. It starts at 5:30 at the Historical Society right there at 200 North Lee. They'll have a short presentation. Basically, this year they're honoring the past 40 years of Historical Society Heritage Dinner Award recipients. And that's been a varied list of basically a Hall of Fame over the last 40 years. So they're taking this year as kind of a pause to honor the last 40 years. And then they're going to start next year basically with the next 40. So they're going to give a presentation about the past 40 years of Heritage Dinner recipients. And then they are going to, the procession will proceed to the Peppers parking lot there at 500 North Main, where you will pick up your dinner. Now, the special event menu, and they're letting us know that there's generous portions for this, starts out with a shrimp appetizer for two. You also get one beef entree, along with, that's braised beef tips, along with one chicken entree, spinach and artichoke grilled chicken. I guess you and who you're dining with, your plus one, can fight out over who gets the beef and who gets the chicken. Or you could, have a little bit of both. Each one of you has some. It's going to be served with red new mashed potatoes, summer squash, medley rolls, butter, and a dessert for two, which I'm told is chocolate chip monkey bread with a bourbon sauce. Dude, that sounds awesome. Dinner box is $100. That serves two. Delivery is an additional $10 in the Roswell area only. The dinner bundle is $500. That serves 10 people. That includes the special bag, the centerpiece, and the delivery. Now, if you're unable to participate, any and all donations would be gladly and greatly accepted and go to a fantastic cause. The Historical Society has they got a lot of bills they got to pay, and your donations are what keeps the lights on at the Historical Society. So any donations would be absolutely appreciated. For your RSVPs and information, you can head to roswellnmhistory.org or call 575-622-8333. Again, roswellnmhistory.org or 575-622-8333. Just send you a text or something? No word from our guest? Okay. That's we'll find something here in the interim, and we'll run that in exchange. 24 minutes after 9 o'clock, going to pause, pay a couple of these bills, and we'll see where we go from here on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I know you've heard me say that you can trust Trustmark, but I want you to know what that looks like in real life. A few years ago, we installed a beautiful new roof for an older woman who was recently widowed. She was an artist and colors were really important to her. So when she said she didn't like the color of a brand new roof, we took that seriously. She had picked the color and signed off on it, but I just kept thinking, if she's going to walk into her house every day and be disappointed, then we're just going to redo it. So we did. We ripped that beautiful new roof off and replaced it with a slightly different color, and she was thrilled. Yes, it cost us quite a bit of money to make her happy, but I want you to know you can trust Trustmark to make it exactly right every time. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to two amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
Well, the biting bugs and the ferocious flyers are out in force, and if you don't take care of them now, you'll be swatting and scratching all summer. Makes me itchy just thinking about it. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether it's keeping the fleas and ticks off your animals or keeping the flies and mosquitoes away from your barbecue, you gotta use the right stuff, and you gotta do it at the right time. So come see us now at Roswell Seed Company, and don't let the bugs tick you off. Get it? Tick.
The Bulls are coming to Roswell, and the savings are coming to Roswell Nissan. We have a selection of over 25 brand new vehicles on the lot, so you can ride away today in an all-new 2022 Frontier, Pathfinder, or Rogue. And the pre-owned lot is stocked with herds of practically new vehicles in stock, with many 20s and 21s in stock. And we have over 100 vehicles on the lot.
402 West Main in Artesia, inside the Age Safety Facility. Equal Opportunity Employer.
Buying a sewing machine from a big box store or online might seem like a bargain, but in this case, you really do get what you pay for. Just the machine. No lessons, no help with figuring out why it isn't working the way you expect, and no one close to fix it. Buying locally from an authorized retailer may cost a little more, but in the end, it will save you time, money, and aggravation. Come see me, Chris Ann, at So Easy Sewing, 200 East College Boulevard in Roswell, and let me show you why it pays to shop local. So Easy Sewing. You've never had it so easy.
If you plug your nose, you can't tell the difference between an apple, potato, and an onion, unless you open your eyes. Here's Mike Winters.
I really want to test that. Like, I know that's a stated fact, but I feel like we need to test that. The statement is, if you close your eyes and hold your nose, you can't tell the difference between an apple, a potato, and an onion. I feel like that's wrong. We need to test this. I'm going to get top men on this, doggone it. 28 minutes now, 29 minutes after 9 o'clock. Roy, how's it going? Yay, nay? Okay. So what we're going to do, we're hoping to have Miss Crystal Noble from the Roswell Humane Society. We're checking on things, making sure everything's okay. But we are in place of that going to replay an interview that we had earlier this week with Mr. Bob Power. Joining us in studio. We chit-chatted all about, just a varied number of topics, but most importantly, the big dance and silent auction that he's got coming up this weekend as a fundraiser for, I believe, Harvest Ministry. So we'll replay that interview right now here on A Morning Without Mike Winters. Tuesday morning. Joining us in studio this morning, Mr. Bob Power. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Just fantastic.
You know what? Actually, let me correct myself. I just found out the Right Reverend Bob Power. How are you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, we were chatting off the air, and Bob drops in my lap that he's an ordained minister. I did not realize. Very cool. We were last hour we played the interview with Pastor Alan Getty all about his book Unless the Lord, and Bob decided to tell me that he's an ordained minister. That's pretty cool. Have you ever done any weddings?
Pardon me?
Have you ever done any weddings?
Yeah.
Have you really?
I did one, 5 or 6 weeks ago.
Okay. So is that something that you do on the regular?
It's something I'd like to do regular.
Okay, very cool. So full disclosure, I'm also ordained, but I'm not ordained in the cool way like you are. So like I went online, there's a place called the Universal Life Church that you can get yourself ordained. I did this to marry a friend of mine. Basically, I was marrying a friend of mine and his fiance. So you can get ordained in the not cool way, but you got ordained in the cool way. Like you had an actual member of the church ordain you, correct?
Yeah.
That's the one that counts. That really is.
The wedding I did, I got up. They held it at the American Legion.
Okay.
And I got up in front of the crowd waiting for the bride and groom. And everybody in the audience was real stone-faced. I mean, there wasn't a smile or a pleasant look in the audience.
Really?
And I thought, wow, I've got to do something to loosen this crowd up.
Sure.
So the bride and groom came up, and I welcomed them. And then I said to the bride, I said, please don't do what my wife did when we got married. And she looked at me kind of funny, and I said, when we got married, the minister said, you take this man for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, for better or for worse. And she said, Reverend, I'm sorry, but he's got to get better. He can't get any worse.
This is the worst it could possibly be. So,
and it loosened the crowd
there
up.
you go. That's sort of like the requirement of the of whoever's overseeing the wedding. It's like, yeah, you're there to marry the bride and the groom, but the crowd came a long way. You gotta also be a little bit of an MC too.
Yeah.
So speaking of MCing, by the way, you're quite the party man. You're quite the party thrower. You have a tendency to throw a pretty big party or two, from time to time.
Not parties.
Okay, that in fairness, not parties, but dances. But have you always been sort of like the party animal, like the in the crowd? Like, were you always like the guy that was like the party planner?
I was when I was younger.
Okay, fair
but
enough.
Now I'm not a party animal
You're not
anymore.
a party animal. Nowadays, you're a dance planner. That's
well,
what
I
you
teach dancing and
Hey, really? What kind of dance do you teach?
ballroom, Latin, and country western.
Okay, very cool, very cool. I have rhythm. I just don't have, what's the other thing? Motion. Like I'm good. I can keep rhythm pretty well. I can't keep time. Like with my feet. I'm not very choreographed or choreographable. I'm not very coordinated. There you go. Yeah, I'm definitely not that. So, but obviously as a dance instructor, you're one to cut a rug or two every now and again.
Well, I've been teaching since 1975, so we got 47 years experience.
Mm-hmm. You got to put it somewhere. Absolutely.
Well,
so let's talk about the big dance we have coming up on August 20th. What about that?
It's hopefully it's going to be one of our bigger dances.
Yeah.
Because we're, in addition to everything we normally do, we're going to have a lot of food and a silent auction.
Okay.
And we need the silent auction to be successful, because all the money is going to the outreach program at Westminster Presbyterian Church.
Okay.
Tom Blake, the director of ministry there, has gone overboard with taking homeless people off the streets and helping them.
Awesome.
And it's expensive.
It really is, and it's something that I think that the pandemic put a spotlight on a lot of things. And one of the things it put a real spotlight on was the homeless problem here in Roswell. And it's more prevalent now than I think I've ever before. And I think a lot of that also has to do with the pandemic itself. That a lot of that sort of, people who were in a paycheck to paycheck situation, who got furloughed, who got laid off, it basically, they had no option left.
Not just in Roswell.
No, it's all over. It's a nationwide.
Tom had a lady, a homeless lady, that wanted to go up to Albuquerque. So he drove her up there, and when they got there, the area that she wanted to go to, the streets were filled with trash. People were sleeping on the sidewalks all over, and it was just a very undesirable place.
Sure.
And she wanted to come back here.
She got it. She saw how bad it could be,
Yeah.
and said, "Okay, I'm going to go back." Yeah, that makes sense. One of the things, not to get off on a tangent or anything, but when I lived in Albuquerque, and this is back in 2008, is when I lived in Albuquerque for about a year. One of the ways that we would get extra income is we would donate plasma. There's a plasma clinic over on Central and it's like just off of Central and San Mateo. And we would go, and I still have the track march to this day from that place. We would go and get there at about 7 o'clock in the morning, which is, they opened at 7 o'clock. So we get there as they open, and there would be a line. I mean, a line around the building of folks, very much in that same situation of just like they were homeless. This was their only option for income. Is the $40 or $50 they would get from donating plasma. Yeah. It's and you see that, and that's just one section, one microcosm of the big issue of homelessness, here right now. And again, and that's something that the pandemic absolutely multiplied. So this is definitely an issue. And this is definitely something we want to put as much money as we can into, helping and combating. And that's why, we want this event to be a big success. We want to pack the house, right? And we're doing this with legends, all right? The King and Queen are coming back to play this big concert. We're talking about Dwayne and Jill. This is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the King and Queen. I mean, this is, if you've ever been to a Dwayne and Jill show, you know that they bring the house down. There's something about two-step into live music, and this is definitely a great opportunity.
They've been doing it for many years, and they're exceptionally good.
Absolutely.
But the silent auction, we're hoping that through this broadcast, we can get some of the ladies out there to donate cakes.
Okay.
For the silent auction.
Sure.
Because cakes always sell good.
So I have a friend who's she's not just a baker. She calls herself a cake artist, a cake artisan. I know there's a lot of those folks out there. I've seen some work. Instagram, you'll see some beautiful, beautiful examples of fantastic cakes. So I know out there in Roswell, you guys can put together a pretty cake or two. So if you're a cake artist or cake artisan, why don't you throw together something tasty that looks pretty and put it up for auction? I saw one the other day. Now this reference will probably fall on deaf ears here in this studio, but did you watch The Mandalorian?
Did I what?
Did you watch the show The Mandalorian?
No.
Okay, so you know Yoda, right? The little Star Wars character Yoda. So somebody made there's a in the show The Mandalorian, there's a baby Yoda. Okay, so somebody made a cake that was baby Yoda, but with a unicorn horn, and they called it, and the name of baby Yoda was Grogu, so they called it the Grogu Unicorn, and it was adorable. It was in cake form, and that was somebody here in town. So if you can make a Grogu Unicorn, and you want to put this on the silent auction, that would definitely be a big seller. What else what others are some other items on the silent auction that are available?
I'm right in the middle of collecting things now.
Okay.
But we've got I'll just name a couple things.
Sure.
The sword.
Whoa.
All
right. He goes, I don't know, maybe like a sword.
A couple paintings.
All right, cool.
ABC Distributing donated a really nice ice chest.
Okay, cool. I was hoping for a keg, but ice chest works. I said I was hoping for a keg, but ice chest works.
Yeah.
ABC donated us a keg. Nice. No, that's very cool.
And we'll have a lot of other things by then.
Now, are you still taking donations?
Oh yeah.
Excellent. So if say a business or somebody who's listening has something valuable, say for example, I know this is a big deal, here in Roswell. Say for example, somebody has one of the Choose cookbooks. I don't know if you're familiar, but when Choose closed down, they released the cookbook of all their recipes, and those were hot sellers here in Roswell. So if maybe somebody has a copy of the Choose cookbook and they want to
I've done a lot of things. A few years back, Ray's Galactic Motors on 2nd Street.
I'm familiar. That's actually where
donated a car.
Wow.
Which we weren't able to sell it, but we tried.
Sure.
And I did a horse.
All right.
At a silent auction.
That's something.
Huh?
That's really something. I mean, you're talking about moving livestock at this point. That's impressive.
Well, it was my horse.
Okay.
And I was moving out here, and I couldn't bring the horse.
Sure.
So I donated it to the church that I belong to.
Very cool.
And they got all the money for it.
That's awesome. That's really a cool thing. It's like, the whole idea of the native idea of every part of the horse gets, or every part of the animal gets used. You used every part of that animal's life. It had its use with you, and you utilized it. And then when you were done with it, when you couldn't take it with you, you donated it to the church, and they made money off it.
Well, that was a bad experience for me.
Oh, really?
Because the guy that bought the horse, he was an experienced horseman. He knew horses. And the horse I donated was a registered saddle horse.
Okay.
Which is a fairly new breed.
Right.
But it was registered. It was trained for therapeutic horsemanship.
Okay.
I mean, it was a brilliant horse. It was so smart. And he had it a short time, and he left it out in the field in the spring all day. And the horse foundered from the fresh grass and died.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and at that time the horse was only 10 years old.
Oh.
And
well, that's tough.
It was so smart. The kids in the neighborhood loved to come over and ride it, and the horse would not run with the child on its back.
See,
it wouldn't even walk unless I told it it was okay.
Sure.
So, I mean, it was a very smart horse and very well trained.
That's a bummer. That is certainly a bummer. But that story notwithstanding, there's not all all trauma of the silent auction. We want to make sure that folks know that there's some quality stuff here at the silent auction.
Anyhow, getting back to the dance,
I am curious. It says lots of food. What's on the menu?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
We haven't made up our mind about that. But the last one, we had hamburgers.
All right.
And that was my brilliant idea. And because it was my brilliant idea, I got stuck sitting outside the whole dance.
You were stuck behind the grill.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's a place of honor, though, because I mean, you think about you're feeding the masses; they're coming to you.
Oh, it was a 3-burner grill.
Okay.
And one of the burners was out.
So it was a 2-burner grill.
Yeah. So it took me twice as long to do everything, and I was out there from the time before the dance started,
right,
up until 15 minutes before it was over.
So my suggestion for this dance, lots of food. Let's just go ahead and get one of those like 20-foot sandwiches, and then just cut it into sections. There you go. Everybody gets a piece of sandwich. There you go. Lots of food.
We've got a lady that belongs to that church.
Okay.
That makes little finger sandwiches.
Nice.
And they're delicious.
Fantastic.
Nice. But then we always have a lot of food to go along with it.
Sure, sides and drinks and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, that's the way it ought to be. But it's $5 per person, and it's definitely going to be for a worthy cause. Like we said, Tom Blake and the ministry that he has working with the with the homeless here in Roswell and in southeastern Mexico. Really, it's a definite need that needs to be filled. So that's going to be happening August 20th, which is Saturday. It's 1 week from this Saturday, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so
yeah, and
1 week from this Saturday, 6 to 9, and that's happening at the at Westminster Presbyterian there at 2801 West 4th.
Right straight behind Champion Motorsports, the motorcycle dealer.
Okay, so what used to be the old Masonic Lodge, I believe.
Right next door to it.
Okay. Oh, no, okay. So we're Calvary Chapel's here, what used to be the Masonic Lodge, which is now, I believe, the school, and then Westminster.
No, now the old Masonic Lodge is a Pentecostal church.
So are you guys in the old Calvary Chapel?
No, Calvary Chapel is further west.
Gotcha. Okay, because I grew up at Calvary Chapel.
And
That's why I was curious.
Westminster Presbyterian Church is one door east.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Sounds great. So right there, 2801 West 4th, right there behind Champion Motorsports. Can't miss the place. I obviously can, but you can. The party starts at 6 o'clock. It goes until 9. Again, silent auction, so bring that fold money. You know, we definitely want to make sure that we make this worth their while for sure. Absolutely. So, go ahead.
And again, I just can't mention it enough that we need donations for the auction, and especially cakes, because everybody likes cakes.
Oh, absolutely.
And they always sell.
Mm-hmm.
And I've bought cakes at silent auctions before, and at cake auctions, and I've never had a bad one.
You don't see it very often, but I love a good old-fashioned cakewalk. Like, it's one of my favorite things in the world. When you go to the old fairs or harvest festivals. It's a big one around harvest festival time season.
Yeah.
They always have cakewalks. I love a good cakewalk. And you're absolutely right. I've never gone home with a bad cake. Yeah, not ever.
But if anybody needs more information, they can call me at 575-910-4648.
Okay.
Or they can call Tom Blake at 575-420-3434.
Okay. That's a different number than I had, actually. So 420-3434 is the number to call for Tom Blake, or call 910-4648 to get a hold of Bob Power. And again, this event is it's for a fantastic cause. If you've spent any portion of time in downtown Roswell, if you've come to the Farmers and Gardeners Market, if you work downtown, you've seen it firsthand. I mean, and it's everywhere. The pandemic has multiplied the problem of folks who have been taken away from their homes, from their livelihoods. All we're trying to do is give these folks a little humanity back. That's it, because for so long they've basically been living off of what the good of those around them, and all we're trying to do is give them some humanity back. That's really it.
Tom took over as, they call him director of ministry because he wasn't ordained in the Presbyterian Church.
Right.
He was ordained, but for all practical purposes, he's the pastor.
Sure.
And that church was never known for helping homeless people.
Right.
And Tom helped a homeless person that must have gone back and told all of his friends.
Said, hey, I know a guy.
And he got bombarded with them. And it hasn't stopped.
Sure.
And
that's got to weigh heavy on his heart too. I mean, as somebody who has a heart for service, like Tom, and I've known Tom for years. As somebody like Tom who has a heart for service, that's got to just weigh on his heart.
Tom has a heart for people.
Right. You help one, and then 1,000 pop up, and he's like, "Well, now I have a need. I have to help you and you and you and everyone else."
Yeah.
And that's got to weigh hard on him. So obviously, Tom's not one to turn someone in need away, which is why the need is so great. Because it's they found somebody who's helping.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have anything to donate, if you have any items, especially cakes, any like a gift certificate, if you're a business listening and you have a gift certificate to for your service or your business that you can donate, that would be absolutely fantastic. Again, contact Bob at 910-4648 or contact Tom at 420-3434. And please, any and all donations would be fantastic. But then again, come out to the dance. It's gonna be an awesome time. Just an absolute. I know he flatters himself by saying it wasn't going to be a party, but I think we're throwing a party. We got the King and Queen coming back to play a concert. We got Dwayne and Jill. We got all kinds of food. We got a silent auction. We're talking about a party, and it's only $5 per person. Go stag and pick somebody up. Find yourself maybe a new friend there at the party, or go tag. That's only $10 for you and a partner to dance the night away. It's all going down August 20th, 1 week from this Saturday at the Westminster Presbyterian Church, 2801 West 4th.
I'm happy you didn't make the same mistake I did the
that?
last time Dwayne and Jill played.
Oh, what's that?
I was going to introduce them as the King and Queen, and I said the Grandma and Grandpa.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, well, at that point, we might not play. They might not play. So, yes, the King and Queen.
That's correct.
Not the old timers. That's right. It's all going down. Dwayne and Jill. Of course, some great food, some great music, and that silent auction where you can definitely pick up something that will be worth your while.
And the food is delicious.
Off the chain.
Every time.
I'm very excited about it. So, yeah, it's going down 1 week from Saturday. Make your plans. Your dance card is full. Grab yourself a partner. And get ready to do-si-do on the dance floor.
They couldn't go to McDonald's and get enough food to fill themselves for $5.
For $5? Are you kidding me? Not even close. So you come on out. You're going to get loaded up with food. And this is the other thing. I love stepping back off the dance floor and watching other people two-step. Because if you've ever seen like an old soul cowboy two-step, they do it with so much passion. Like they're kicking their feet up and they're really, I feel bad for the ladies they're pulling around because they're just whipping them around the dance floor. It's not about you right now. It's about me getting down on this two-step beat. So
if the ladies are out there with them, they enjoy it.
Oh, sure they do. Absolutely. I've seen dust kicking up, sawdust on the dance floor. So come on out, kick up a little sawdust with Dwayne and Jill. Some great food. Some fantastic chance to for the silent auction. It's going to be a good time. It's all happening at Westminster Presbyterian, right there behind Champion Motorsports on West 2nd, 2801 West 4th. Come on out. It's going to be a hellacious shindig, as they say.
And it's from 6 to 9 p.m.
Yes, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Definitely a great chance to dance the night away on a Saturday night. And then, of course, absolve for the sins that you made at the dance on Sunday morning, back at the Presbyterian Church. There you go. So, problem solved.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is scheduled to appear at a rally this weekend in Carlsbad for New Mexico gubernatorial candidate Mark Ronchetti. According to the Ronchetti campaign, on Sunday at 4 p.m., DeSantis will take the stage in Carlsbad to campaign for the New Mexico Republican. Also, DeSantis, the U.S. Representative Yvette Herrell, will also appear at the rally as she seeks re-election this year. Ronchetti is seeking to oust incumbent Democrat Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. A Carlsbad man accused of killing an 8-year-old girl 2 years ago has now been released from the Eddy County Jail. A judge signed the orders for 34-year-old Juan Lerma. The order says Lerma must remain on house arrest with a GPS monitor. He can only leave his home for court hearings and to meet with his lawyer. The judge also ordered Lerma not to use the internet in any manner, including social media. Lerma is accused of killing 8-year-old Samantha Rubino, whose body was found wrapped in trash bags in a garbage can at his home. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Inflation at the wholesale level, as measured by the Producer Price Index, jumped 9.8% last month from a year earlier, but it did ease a bit, down 0.5% from June's level. A troubling sign that the U.S. economy may indeed be in the grips of a recession.
The number of Americans who signed up for unemployment benefits rose last week to the highest level since November.
The Labor Department says applications for jobless aid climbed by 14,000 and have now risen for 5 out of the last 6 weeks. The news comes even as the Biden economic team cites strong employment numbers as evidence the economy is not in a recession, despite the fact it meets the classic definition, 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. Bob Agnew reporting.
It was a higher open this morning for Wall Street's benchmarks, with stocks getting a bit of a boost from the latest inflation report. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Have you ever had someone do something kind and out of the ordinary for you? How did that make you feel? I know for me, it brightens my day. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for the Joy of Marriage.
Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not get tired of doing what's right, for after a while we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't get discouraged and give up." I've learned when you don't know what to do, just do the next right thing. Keep sowing good things into your spouse and your family. Be patient. God promises He will give you a harvest. It will make a difference. A successful farmer just keeps on working and expects to have a great harvest.
I know when my husband brings me flowers, it blesses me. So do something unexpected for your spouse. It will pay off.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Roswell Ford presents the second annual Hometown Heroes Car Show and commemoration of 9/11. Saturday, September 10th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Wool Bowl in Roswell, with lots of different categories to choose from, including classic and muscle cars, lowriders and hot rods, best paint job, and so much more. Trophies awarded to first place in each category, with a $1,000 cash prize for best overall, and lots of great prizes, including a smart TV, an LGS gift card, furniture, car washes, and more. Enjoy jolly jumps, snow cones, music, and food. Best of all, it's free to spectate and only $25 to register your vehicle, with a portion of the proceeds to benefit the Tunnels to Towers Foundation. Register and get more info at roswellford.com. Sponsored by La Salsa, Decor of Carlsbad, LGS Guns and Ammo, Chaves County Heroes, 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, Suds Up, One Party Rentals, Piero 106.1 FM, CRM Discount Awards, National Furniture Liquidators, Keep Chaves County Beautiful, and Let's Play Entertainment. The second annual Hometown Heroes Car Show, Saturday, September 10th at the Wool Bowl in Roswell.
Well, the biting bugs and the ferocious flyers are out in force, and if you don't take care of them now, you'll be swatting and scratching all summer. Makes me itchy just thinking about it. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether it's keeping the fleas and ticks off your animals or keeping the flies and mosquitoes away from your barbecue, you gotta use the right stuff, and you gotta do it at the right time. So come see us now at Roswell Seed Company, and don't let the bugs tick you off. Get it? Tick.
You can't hunt camels in Arizona, but you can buy them. They go for about $10 a pack. Here's Mike Winters.
That's going to do things from our end. Travis and Sexton up next. Keep it locked right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. See you tomorrow.